Merry Christmas.
Hi, this is happening. This isn't real. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Argy, Birdie, Coggins, Timothy, Matt, Wings, Calypso, Colleen, Kaylee. How you guys doing? By the way, everyone, Michelle0713 in the chat is my mom. So everyone make sure that you at her and say hello, please. Make her feel welcome. She doesn't do this often. This is a big deal. Your father's here too. Hi, father. Wow, the whole fam showed up. Literally my whole family. Hi, guys. Hi, Revan. Also, Revan, thank you for the resub. I really appreciate it, homie. That was 2 months. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it right off the top. By the way, yeah, guys, I'm not a complete papega. The alerts are going to be off during the stream. I mean, sorry, during the film. I have them off. The alerts and the chat are going to be off screen. Revan! Thanks, Revan, for gifting a sub to my mom. Mom, you can use my emotes now if you can figure out how to do it. I don't know if you can. Maybe Colleen can help you. But yeah, thanks, Revan. That's funny. I appreciate it. That's her second month, actually, because I'm pretty sure I gifted her on my birthday, or someone did. Also, hi, Purple Foo. How are you? Anyways, you all know why we're here tonight. At least if you don't, maybe I should explain it anyways. I think most everyone knows why we're here. No, I don't. Tell me. Well, I'm so glad you asked. So basically, for anyone who doesn't know, oh, also hi Taylor and Aaron. My bad. I'm me remembering that I forgot to say hi to people. So, for anyone who doesn't know what's going on tonight, hi Fiona. I am a film student in college, and and I have spent the last 4 months, this whole semester basically, working on a short documentary. It is short, by the way. I didn't know that some people were under the impression that it was actually like long, like it was like an hour long. It's really not, don't worry. I won't take that much of your time. It's only 6 minutes long. But I spent the last 4 months making a short documentary. And it's about essentially me in the pandemic and what happened in the summer when I was working night shifts and I was like alone, and how streaming sort of gave me something to look forward to, and watching streams and getting to know people on Twitch and in Discord and such really, you know, saved me from being completely antisocial. We're gonna make pizza, but you'll be on the counter. Perfect. Enjoy your pizza. I'm glad to be a part of your pizza making evening. But yeah, so that's essentially what's happening. And so tonight, I'm showing it, and it's kind of crazy to be saying that because Colleen, that would be a spoiler, so I can't tell you. No spoilers from this point forward. I accidentally leaked something last night, so no spoilers. It wasn't really anything major that I leaked last night. I just said something and Timothy yelled at me in chat. But yeah, hi Jimmy also. How are you? She already said I won't be in it. I didn't say that. Also Coggins, that's a big kappa. You have not already seen it. You literally haven't. Nobody has seen it. The only people in here that have seen it are, Argy, my last name, my full name is in the credits of the film anyways, so let me lie. Okay, sorry, Coggins has seen it. My last name, you're all gonna know my full name, that's fine. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for being here. No one's in it. It's a static shot of Laura screaming at a brick wall for 6 minutes. Yeah, it's just, I just recreated the donut wall emote. That's all I did. This is exciting. Hi, Jamie. It is exciting. I'm nervous and excited. This is the first time that I've ever really shown my work to anybody, to be honest with you, on like a grander scale. Like I feel like pretty much everything that I've made up to this point has been, you know, I've just made it for class and haven't really done anything with it, haven't really shown it to anyone, like nothing. And so this is like really exciting and kind of a big deal for me because, yeah, Bruce does not seem excited. That doesn't surprise me. Well, that's okay. Bruce feels weird, man. Well, that's okay. He doesn't have to be. Anyways, yeah, I'm just really excited. As you can see, I have a countdown. Can I get the pointing right? Yeah. I wasn't sure if I was gonna get the right direction. So we're gonna be showing it in 18 minutes, and I'm just gonna sit and talk until then, because I didn't want to just like show it right off the top of stream, because I was worried that if I did that, people might miss it. I wanted to, and I also wanted to give it like a little bit of setup as well. So, you know, that's why I'm here. And also a chance to like say hi to everybody and introduce what's going on in case anybody didn't know, and just like chat for a minute. And also it's kind of to kill my nerves as well. Gonna show the testimonials? Yes, I am. They're coming up in a minute. Bruce doesn't get it. My mom's shading my dad in chat. I love this. He got mad at me for saying that in the chat. I read it already. I need to start pre-reading chat messages now. Hi Georgia, how's it going? It's so nice to have all of my friends and family here, including my Twitch friends and family, of course. Say hi to Bruce. I did. I literally did say hi to him. Too bad he doesn't have a Twitch account, so he can't come. So he can't come into chat. Yeah, what Timothy said, Colleen. But yeah, I'm really excited. This is like really surreal because, I mean, a lot of you already know, and I'll get into the, you know, I'm gonna give my whole little speech and rant about it after I show it, really. I don't want to say too much before we show it, but this thing has been simultaneously the best thing that's happened and also the bane of my existence for the last 4 months. And most days it was the reason I didn't want to get out of bed for a long time, but then it turned into the best thing ever. Well, maybe I don't want to say the best thing ever, don't get too excited, but I'm really excited that after how hard it was, I have something that I'm really excited about and proud to show everyone, and I'm excited that you're all excited about it and that you're all here. It means a lot to me. So, cry on stream? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Did your mom see the fire alarm clip? I don't think she did, Argy. I'm gonna say she probably didn't. But yeah. Cry. Well, we'll see. Maybe later. Also, yes, Colleen, good point. I added Peepo popcorn to the chat for you. So if you want to have a nice little movie snack with the movie, there you go. Probably just for tonight. I might leave it, depending. I can't remember. I took out Hyperclap for it. So I'm sorry if there was any Hyperclap mains out there. But I took that one out to replace it with Peepo popcorn. Because I think it'll be good for tonight. But yeah, I didn't see the fire alarm clip. Should we show the fire alarm clip? It's not really relevant. 16 minutes until we're alone together. Hi, Curtis! How's it going? Curtis, by the way, movie Kurt in chat was who ran the Instagram page for the doc, which I'm realizing now most of you didn't see because I didn't actively advertise it and I didn't send it or anything. But for the few of you out there that might have been following the Instagram account for the doc, Curtis ran it and was on the crew for the doc. So thanks, Curtis. Welcome in. Nice, Georgia. But yeah, it found me. Yeah, I mean, that was on purpose. That was intentional, Coggins. I didn't, to be fair, so the reason that I didn't advertise the doc Instagram page, like in Discord or on stream or anything, and get everybody to like follow it, is because we had to link our school's like website in the thing. And so it would kind of be like doxing a little bit. So I didn't for that reason, but I'm going to show you some of the content from the Instagram. Well, right now, we can do it right now if we want. But yeah, not sure how long I can stay, but I'm going to try catching the premiere. All good, Curtis. Hi, Bronze. How's it going? Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm nervous. But overall, I'm really excited. It's like surreal that this is actually like finally here because we've been waiting. I've been waiting for the whole semester for it, really. And I'm very happy. Anyways, so to start off, I thought it would be kind of cool, like I said, since I didn't advertise the Instagram and a lot of you didn't see it, to show, thanks Colleen, to show you what we posted on there. I've been waiting a whole 16 minutes now. Yeah, and you're gonna wait 14 more. But yeah, so I'm gonna show what we had on the Instagram page. You'll definitely, a lot of you, Calypso, what is that? That's so rude, Calypso. That's literally so mean. Anyways. Moving right along. Here with popcorn and soda and you on in the theater room. That's so cool, Bronze. That's sick. I did family movie night for this. Well, I'm honored, Argy. I'm honored. But yeah, so basically, the plan for the stream, I guess I'll like go over that real quick as well, is obviously in 13 minutes, as you can see, I pointed the wrong direction for the timer. In 13 minutes, as you can see, the doc will be on, and then after that, Timothy, who you all know and love as Juicy Jangles in chat, is going to be on. I'm going to pull him up on a Zoom call. And for those who don't know, maybe, some of you might not know this, Timothy was the co-producer and co-writer of the doc, and him and I worked together on it all semester. And, I mean, we'll get into more of this later. It'll be Wholesome Hours soon enough, but this would not have happened without him. Like, 100%, I would not have survived making this thing if it hadn't been for him. So, he's going to be on with me after, and we're basically just going to hang around and talk about it. We're going to talk about like the process of making it, what we did on it, and if anybody has like questions about it or like whatever, I'm kind of just trying to have like a conversation about it essentially, because like I said, I wanted to dedicate an entire stream to this doc tonight rather than, you know, show it, because it's short enough that I could have easily shown it and then gone on to playing something else, like playing games or doing something else, but I wanted to really give it like a moment to, you know, exist and have its thing and like be special, and then obviously, you know, I'll go back to my regular streaming antics tomorrow night, but I wanted to have like a whole stream dedicated to it. It probably won't be a very long stream, but essentially as long as people want to hang out and talk to Timothy and I, we'll talk about it, and we're gonna sort of like have a conversation on stream about like making it, and how that went and stuff. And then if anybody has any questions about making it, or you know, there might be some people out there that are interested in like film school or like, you know, what that's like. So, yeah, Colleen, true. So if you have any questions for us about that, or just like anything you want to talk about, then self-promo, then hit us up because we'll answer. I mean, I can't speak for Timothy, but I'll gladly answer whatever questions people have. This is the first time in my life that I've actually been excited about being in film, and like proud of it. So whatever people want to ask me, I'm down. Timothy has also said that he's down, so I'm ready to just sit and have a conversation about it. It's gonna be fun. Also, hi Bobby, welcome in. So yeah, I'm gonna show some stuff that we had on the Instagram page, just as kind of like an introduction, I suppose. It's not, I wouldn't call it like a trailer or anything because you can't really have a trailer for a documentary that's 6 minutes long. But this was what we used on the Instagram page to sort of like promote, hi Libby, to promote the doc. And you will definitely, all of you will see at least one familiar face in this. So I'm going to pull it up. And yeah, there's definitely, some of you might see multiple Colleens. Spams make me laugh so hard. They're so funny. At least one. Some of you might be familiar with all four. I don't know. Colleen, please don't make that catch on. But yeah, hi Havoc also. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, I hope I see Snuff. Well, you're about to be disappointed. Anyways, no spoilers. Almost did. Yeah, true. All right. Anyways, hi Jono. I'm gonna show this thing. And yeah, I'll be back right after. And then it'll be almost time. Oh my god, it's literally 10 minutes. All right, sick.
Thank you!
Thanks, Nora.
Thank you!
The alerts are off now, by the way, so if you think I'm gonna switch back to this screen every time, good luck.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
I'm not the most consistent streamer, but I do stream from time to time, and much of the reason why I started was because I had nothing else better to do while I was stuck at home. This is before the pandemic, ironically, so naturally, when it did come along, certain things started to feel different. Online relationships enhanced, the feeling of aloneness started to fade, and the negativity caused by the pandemic slowly faded too. My problems in the pandemic started to turn from not being able to see friends to not being able to meet people I met online. So despite being stuck in my house nearly 24/7, I know that when I go online and say hi in someone's stream, that sooner or later I'd realize the time and it would have flown by. Nothing beats a better distraction from the real world than Twitch.
Streaming for me during COVID and everything has been actually an incredible way to feel like I'm still connected to the world and to meet new people from all over the world that I never would have had a chance to meet otherwise. Honestly, it has made everything more bearable. It has made it so that as much as I feel like I've lost in 2020 with COVID, with everything else going on in the world right now, I feel like I've gained that much back in an entirely different way through the people that I've met through streaming and the communities. And I can't say how thankful enough I am about it all.
Hello.
I have been a part of Laura's streaming community for more than 6 months, and while I haven't personally streamed anything yet, simply being a viewer and a community member has impacted me quite profoundly during the pandemic. Having something positive and enjoyable to look forward to at the end of each day makes getting through the boring stuff a lot less difficult, and it also allows me to connect with both old and new friends in a really immersive and amusing way. A favorite stream moment of mine is definitely Laura's 1-year streaming anniversary, but anytime her sister is featured was and always will be a really great time.
I think streaming during this pandemic has arguably been the best decision I've ever made. Before the pandemic itself, I was even a little bit lonely, and then through that, I discovered Twitch. And I can't imagine how I would have handled the pandemic without discovering Twitch in the early days. The communities I've discovered and even created have really pulled through with some incredible people, making lifelong friends and connections through a time where we can't even see each other face to face. I can't think of any platform that can do that, at least not as well as Twitch. So therefore, I am forever grateful to Twitch for creating this incredible platform.
That was all of them. Hi, welcome back. Also, the alerts definitely still played during that, so I'm gonna try to fix that in the next 5 minutes. Because I didn't think they would, and they did, so I need to fix that. But yeah, I want to say thanks to Wings and Josh and Birdie and Jimmy for being a part of that, because it was cool. Mute the OBS scene. Oh, you can do that? I don't know how to do that. Embrace it. No. Also, I just wanted to say that during that, I got a follow from an account called D Linton, which is definitely my uncle. So hi. My whole family really came out. Pro streamer, by the way. I've never claimed to be. My whole family's really out here. So thanks, guys, for coming. We're listening to the sound on Mother's iPad, but hers is behind. What? Oh, then watch it on yours. Oh my gosh. Your whole family except Bruce, stop. Okay, actually though, we need to fix the alerts because I only have 4 minutes. But yeah, part of the reason that I wanted to do that as part of like the social media bit of it is because obviously, you know, I would have loved, see, here's the thing. If I had an opportunity to make like an actual full like feature length documentary about this, I would have loved to have like a lot more people be involved in the actual thing itself and like interview other people. But obviously since it's only 6 minutes, that's a lot to cram into like only 6 minutes. It's a lot to cram into 6 minutes anyways. And which is why we had to kind of take the route of like, as much as I don't like it, like making it mainly about me. And I mean, yeah, I'll get into all of this after, but it was cool to have them like be a part of it in that capacity. You know, yeah, great. You can just say you're a narcissist. It's no biggie. Yeah, honestly, I should admit it at this point. Okay, send help. How do I mute the alerts? Help. I need to figure out how to do it. I see, because I thought that since I didn't have the alerts.
Thank you!
Thanks, Calypso. Just disable the overlay. Okay, you said you did this earlier. I did, but I didn't have a chance to test it. Right-click alert box in OBS and mute the volume.
Thank you!
Or just hide the... Yeah, but the overlay's not even on the other screen, though. That's why I thought it would be fine. Because the overlay is, like, not on the other screen where I was showing the stuff. You know what I mean? But, so, like, baiting... I'm not baiting bits, dude. Thanks, Calypso. For the bits.
Thank you!
We're just gonna keep going. The alerts, I'm stressing. Colleen, you're stressing. I'm stressing. I'm literally stressing. Can you just pause alerts? Oh, probably. 5 head.
Thank you!
Oh my god. This spam. Colleen, I'm declaring Colleen the only person, who gets to create spams in this channel forever because hers are always so funny. Jimmy, oh my god. You know what? Yeah, I bet I could just delete them from everything and then add them back after. Okay, it's gone there.
Thank you!
Funny spam. Hi, creature, by the way. Oh, yeah, right, Coggins, it's so funny. How long do I have? 1 minute and 50 seconds. Oh my god. Okay. Hold on.
Thank you!
I'm gonna get rid of these. I know, I'm trying. Okay. It's gone from there.
Thank you!
I'm working on it. Okay, I think it's gone. I think it worked. I think it's gone now. I just deleted them from every scene. Right, Coggins? I think they're gone. Thank you for all the bits, Calypso, and helping me test it. I think, dude, if something comes through somehow, I'm gonna cry. Watch, it's gonna be the fucking raid alert too in the middle of it. Is it 1 minute? Oh my god, I'm stressing. Okay, so I can't really say anything else now because it's only a minute until this thing is supposed to happen. So, yeah, thanks everyone for being here. I'm gonna talk about it after, like I said. So, you know, you're gonna hear a lot more from me, but yeah, no, the speech will be after. The speech will be after. Also, hi, Connor. Also, if I miss saying hi to anyone, thank you. I appreciate everybody being here. You guys are all awesome. This is very important to me and means a lot to me. Also, nice emote spam, Georgia. Georgia finally taking advantage of her VIP. Anyways, I'm gonna switch screens now, so it's like a really dramatic countdown thing. But, yeah, I'll see you after the film. Bye.
Come with the bangs over there.
Come with the bangs.
She's already struggling enough.
This is so cute. Can someone clip this right now? Life doesn't always give you what you expect. As an extrovert, moving to college was a dream. Living and working with my best friends in the entire world, always meeting new people, and creating memories that I knew would last a lifetime. It was almost like every day was an opportunity for a new adventure. But I guess there's a reason they say that all good things overnight, and everything about my life changed with it. I didn't realize I was taking simple things like going to class or spending time with my friends for granted until I just couldn't do them anymore. Nobody thought it would last long, but soon days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Most days, the way life was before all this happened almost feels like it was all a dream. A couple months in, I started working night shifts full time, and I think this was the first time that the isolation really sunk in. As the weeks wore on, finding ways to kill time through the nights alone, at work and at home, became more and more difficult. While everyone else settled into online methods to connect with friends and family, I was left behind by everyone I knew only a few hours into my night, when they all went to sleep. I've gathered you all here today because we are dyeing my hair currently. Whoa, that was great. Streaming was something I'd already been doing as a hobby for about 6 months. It gave me an excuse to sit and talk while I played games, and really it was just something I could do whenever I had a bit of spare time. I will get Teddy and I'll give Teddy a hug. He's right over here. He's chilling on my bed, as he usually does. There we go. Teddy's here. But suddenly it went from being something that was almost secondary in my life to being pretty much the most important thing in the world. As the nights carried on, streaming introduced me to a world of infinite people across the globe. Tons of different communities, full of people that, like me, were probably leaning into the platform a little more as a way to spend their newfound excess of free time or lonely days in lockdown. Streams weren't really a place that I was just a bystander in anymore. They were communities that I could actively participate in and make friends. And ultimately, the time I spent watching other streams just inspired me to start putting more time and energy into my own streams, which gave me something to be passionate about again. Even when it felt like almost everything else that had previously made me happy had disappeared. Being a part of these communities, building these connections, and making new friends that I could connect with, regardless of time or distance, was eye-opening after being completely isolated for those first few weeks of working nights. Yet, as I've returned to school and gone back to a more normal schedule, the friendships built during those long nights have continued. A testament to the fact that it is possible to make good memories, new friends, and enjoy being social in spite of a global pandemic.
Oh, yes, yes, yes! Yes, 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 yes!
It's a crossover episode. It's happening.
Yes!
We talked about this earlier. My hair is like all over.
Boris and
There.
Teddy! Yeah, wait.
Even though life has changed so drastically and having faith that the world will go back to normal can seem impossible, at least we never have to go through it alone. Because we can be alone together. Hi Alex, how's it going? May, hey, hello. Hi Astri, how are you? Hi Elle, hi Jimmy, Timothy, Denise, Matt, Bronze. Hi Wings. Hi Jamie, how are you? What's going on? Hi Bobby. Hi Curtis, how are you? I was just thinking about you the other day. The VLC screen, lol. Nice. This was sponsored by VLC, by the way. It wasn't actually. There you go. It's over. That's all. Anyways, I'm gonna end straight. Just kidding. I'm staying, but thanks, guys. Georgia, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Wow, what do you say now? See, it's funny because when I showed it in class the other day, I only had like a minute to say like everything I wanted to say before they had to move on to like the next person. But now I can just sit and talk about it as long as I want. So I don't feel any rush to, say anything good. Coggins feels bad. I'll send you the link later on YouTube. Colleen, thanks. Help. Oh man. Thanks, Colleen. Thanks, Georgia. The VIPs are really having a field day tonight. All right, and here go the mods. Here we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna... Nice, Jimmy. V. Yeah, me too. I'm just gonna... I think I just need to let it happen for a second. V. Man, my chat's never been faster. Keep going. It looks like I'm relevant. I'm kidding. Stop. Borhalt. Wow, nice to see who listens. Thanks, Bobby. Well, I think that means you like it. So thanks. Non-VIP can't spam. Feels bad. Hi, Robin. Also, Nathan. Everyone. Thanks, everyone who came through. But yeah, that was it. That's the one. Good film. Thanks, Wings. Thanks. Yeah. I guess I should, say something about it instead of just sitting here. Are alerts back on? No. Oh, no. No, they're not. Hold on. I'll put it back. Calypso. Oh, wait. I thought it looked like a new thing came up, but it wasn't actually. Good job, Calypso. Me not even being able to figure out. Okay, there. Oh, it's gone. Hang on. This is gonna be a mission. Hold on. Yeah, no alerts. Feels bad. Hold on. I didn't realize that was on screen. This is so scuffed. There. Okay, now alerts are back on.
Thank you!
And of course, Calypso had to get in there first. Anyways, Please say hi to me. Hi, Nathan. How are you? I miss you. At least you showed the doc without trouble. Yeah, Revan.
Thank you.
That's literally all that matters. That's literally all that matters. The fact that the doc came off without issue, I'm happy. Anyways, so, I want to say a few words. Matt. Thanks, Connor, for the host as well. Matt, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate it. I don't know if the alert's ever gonna come, but I saw it. There it is.
Thank you.
Oh no, that's Calypso's. Great. Calypso, thanks for the bits. And Matt, thank you for the 100. I really, really appreciate it. I just got here when you started the video. Denise, hi. Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad you didn't miss it too.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. There it is.
I loved your
finally.
doc.
Thank you. But yeah, I guess, man, it might have been better to have left the alerts off until I finish, you know, saying my emotional things about it. But, you know, whatever. I don't care if I get interrupted. But...
Thank you.
Chat, I think I was in the dock for a whole 0.6 milliseconds poggers.
0.6 milliseconds. That's impressive that you counted. I'm impressed. I could go and find out for you if you'd like. Nice. Colleen always messes one up. Oh man. Anyways, hi Brad. I'm gonna talk now, if that's okay. Thanks everyone. You know, see, so here's the thing, right? This thing was wild to make. This was a wild semester. I mean, obviously, like, it was a wild semester regardless. How short was the doc? How did I miss it already? Bobby! My god! Great gift. Gifting to Colleen. And your first gift sub. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate it. It was only 6 minutes, James. GG's, you missed it. Now I don't have to watch the ads. Poggers. Yeah, you have to watch the ads. Perfect. Bobby, thank you for gifting to Colleen. I appreciate it very much. But yeah, this thing was wild to make. This semester was Should I just wait? Thank you for gifting to Coggins. First and second gift in the channel. Pog. Wait. Okay. I'm waiting.
Thank you.
Thanks, Calypso. I don't have all night. I'm sorry, Colleen. Oh my god! What is going on? The alerts can't even catch up, dude.
Thank you.
Taylor loves you.
I love you too, Taylor, so much. Yeah, what, Bobby, what are you doing? It's, okay. It's not, it's taking forever. There it is. Thank you for gifting to Denise. Oh my god, Georgia! Calypso, what is going on here? Guys.
Thank you.
Now you know how Brody feels.
What? This isn't why I did this. I did this to show you my work. Don't give me your money. I'm ending stream. I'm ending stream if you don't stop.
Your doc was so amazing. I am proud.
Thanks, Georgia. Thanks for the 7 months. Insane. Absolutely insane. I wasn't baiting money. I was not. Where did the uncle go? I don't know. D. Litton, are you still out there? Ending before I get to come on? No, don't worry, Timothy. You'll get your moment in the sun, I promise. Are we done? Can I go now?
Hello.
Thanks, Robin, for the follow. AC Robin, nice name. Yeah, Georgia. Look at your badge. It looks so nice. I mean, it's not new. She was already on 6 months, so same badge as before.
Hello.
Nathan, thanks for the follow too. All my IRLs. Did you all make Twitch accounts just to come to this? I appreciate it if you did. Thanks, Nathan, Robin. I want to hear the speech. I mean, it's not really going to be anything too impressive. Should I start now? Is it time for the speech? Nathan typing peepo clap in chat incorrectly. I live. What are you doing? What are you doing, Bobby? What was Uncle's account? D. Linton. D-L-I-N-T-O-N. Handpicking subs. Yeah, well, have fun, I guess. Praying the building's not on fire. Yeah, me too. Bobby spending his stream money on Laura. Well, yo, I don't know what you're doing. I appreciate it. Matt TV alternative account showed up for the premiere. Matt, what did you think of it? Not you, Matt DB. Matt DB alternative account. What did you think of the doc? It would mean a lot to me to know your thoughts. Georgia, gifting to Carson. Was that intentional, or was that like a... Georgia, did you do that on purpose, or was that just like a random gift sub? Did you mean to do it to Carson? Because that'd be a coincidence if you did. Random snipe. Yeah, apparently. It just so happens that Carson's also an IRL friend of ours. So, nice. Carson got it. Robin! Calypso! I don't know what to say. Ah, Bobby. Feels bad. Feels bad. Save the money, Bobby. Don't spend it. Brucey _ amazing. Amazing. I wish that my dad had a real Twitch account that we could gift to, but he doesn't. Colleen, we don't know who it is. They just gifted because of the name. Hi, Papaya. How are you? Nathan. Can I go now? Can I talk now? Not that I don't appreciate all the love. I'm like overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Thanks. You have dono alerts, right? Yes, I do. I do. Any more? Yeah, what's going on? Like, I don't know what's happening. Thanks. I watched the doco. Thanks. I'm so glad that you did. I'm so glad all of you did. Thanks for being here. I'm getting flustered. My laptop's at 8%. Georgia, where are you? Plug it in. Okay. Am I safe? Can I go now? Any more fam members? I don't think so. I think they're all watching together though. Home. Oh, you're at home. Right. Wait. You're at home? Like upstairs? What's going on? Okay. Anyways, I'm gonna start talking, and if I get interrupted, then I get interrupted. But I'm just gonna start talking. Anyways, so oh, really, Georgia? What the heck? Oh, you're already gone. Right. I forgot you already went up. Georgia cannot do Pepe Meltdown, right? Okay, anyways, so sorry, everybody's telling me to hurry, so I will. And then we'll get Timothy on here. Yes, I just want to say, a lot of you guys have been supporting this a lot more than you realize. Because there was people that were out here at the beginning of when I first had the idea and first pitched it in school, who encouraged me to do that when I wasn't even sure if I wanted to do it. And when it got greenlit, you know, I was really unsure if I wanted to actually go through with it. And a lot of you guys really, really encouraged me to go through with it. And on top of that, you know, you guys have no idea how much it has meant to me over the last few months to, you know, even if I'm just like sitting in a stream randomly playing games or doing whatever, for people to come into chat and say, hey, like, how's your documentary going? Like, you know, that project you were talking about, like, how's that going? Like, you know, what are you up to on that? And the fact that people cared enough to ask about it and, you know, were curious about the process of it and, you know, allowed me to talk about it and stuff, it really made the days when I didn't want to work on it and the days that it felt like it wasn't going well, a lot easier. And, you know, I held off on announcing the stream premiere, which is what we're doing right now, obviously. I held off on announcing that. That was an idea that we had since day one.
Hello.
Thanks, Frostlast, for the follow. Oh, hey! He goes to my school. What's up? Thanks for the follow. Anyways, where was I? Me losing my train of thought from one alert. Nice. Good. Yeah, anyways, I just wanted to say, that the reason that I waited so long to announce the stream premiere officially was because, for a long time in the middle, I really wasn't happy with how it was going. And like I said, like, I've never really shown my work to anyone before outside of being in class and like close friends and family and stuff that have wanted to see it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to want to do it because I'm in a really big cycle with school of, sorry, I'm completely dono walling chat right now, but I'm just going to get what I want to say out and then we'll go back to normal. But I've kind of been in a cycle over the last like 2.5 years in film school of watching other people's work and feeling inadequate and feeling like what I'm doing isn't good enough. And it's sometimes like hard for me to watch and enjoy other people's work because it just makes me feel bad about what I'm doing and there's been a lot of times where I felt like I wasn't good enough to be here. And this is the first thing that I've made that, like I said, I actually felt proud enough of it to show people. And and that's really cool. And also, I have to thank you all anyways, because ultimately, like, the entire thing, even though, like, I was telling my own story and I was talking about, you know, like, me working night shifts and my experience of the pandemic and stuff, it's really about, like, all of you. That's really cliche and, like, cheesy to say, but I wouldn't have had the idea, and this wouldn't exist without all the friends that I made on Twitch this year. And shut up, Coggins. This wouldn't have existed without all the friends that I made on Twitch this year. And everybody that kept me going through those night shifts, and everybody who, you know, has been my friend. So I appreciate it very much. I love you all very much. You guys are literally my friends, my best friends. And yeah, I just appreciate it. That's all. I think I'm done for now. More things I'm sure will come up when Timothy comes on. But for now, I think that'll do it. And thank you all for being here to support. Where's Timothy? Feels late, man. I also want to show you guys something funny. Do you guys want to see something funny from the doc that you probably didn't notice? Pause chant. Also, hi everyone, by the way. The tabs. Okay, also, yes, I was reading chat while we were watching it. I want to say, in the defense about my phone being dirty, after we shot that, I literally did another take and I cleaned off my phone screen. But then that take wasn't as good. It wasn't framed as nicely, so I used the one with... And I knew people would say something about it, but I left it in because it looked better. Sometimes you have to make sacrifices when you edit, folks. It's just how it goes. But I thought that was funny. I wasn't in chat during the doc. A bunch of people were. But yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm going to show you something funny. I have to find it. Hold on. I don't know where it is. Timothy pointed this out to me, and now I don't even know what part it's in. I'm going to look for it. Because I think you guys will find it entertaining. Maybe I can't find it, and I'm just dumb. Oh! I saw it. It's on the same shot as the phone, so I'm sorry. But I just want to show you something that you might find funny. So, look at the predictive text bar on my phone. In the film. Anyways, that's all. I just thought it was funny. Yeah, I just typed Pepe laugh only. Also, hi, Julia, I saw you. Welcome. I'm sorry that you missed it, but I'll definitely send it to you if you want to watch it later. Can you send a link in Discord to the doc for those who didn't see it? Yes. I'll do something. It's currently uploaded to YouTube, unlisted on my YouTube channel. So for people that want it, I can probably send the link. So here's the debate, right? And I'll get Timothy on. I'll explain this, and then I'll get Timothy on. But so here's the thing. So we were actually encouraged in our classes not to release our documentaries publicly. So I didn't... Oh, you were trying to get to 5. That's what it was. Thank you, Bobby, for gifting to Julia. You're wild. I don't know why you gifted me 5 subs, but thank you. I appreciate it. And great gifts, too. You can tell that you picked them with care. But yeah, so we weren't supposed to release the docs. Well, okay, sorry. I shouldn't say that we weren't supposed to release the docs publicly. But where it creates kind of a problem is that, so theoretically, what I could do with this film going forward is I could put it into film festivals. I could put it into short documentary film festivals and try to get it like screened and shown, or potentially win awards. Who knows? Who knows? Sky's the limit. But the problem is, well, not problem, but the thing is about that is that certain, you have to apply to get your film into festivals, and certain festivals, will not take your doc unless they can, or your film or whatever it is, unless they have premiere status, essentially. So they'll want their film festival to be the first one to like show it, or like the first place where it appears like publicly and stuff like that. So they encouraged all of us to not put them on YouTube publicly or not show them publicly at all. But the thing is though, like, I can still submit it to other festivals. It's just any festival that wants that premiere status will probably not take it. Delete the VOD, get rid of it. So, but so at this point, I'm like, I could put it on YouTube because I could just put that on my YouTube channel. I don't care. Like if you know, or I could leave it unlisted, and delete the countdown. True. Yeah, that's the thing. We have to delete all of our like social media stuff too, which is also a part of our mark for the class. So we'll figure it out. It'll either be, for people who didn't see it, either way, I will send you, if you want it, send me a DM on Discord or like wherever, and I can give you the link to it. I don't mind giving out the link to it, because like you guys have already all seen it. Why a mask? What do you mean why a mask? But yeah, so there's countdown on screen. Yeah, I literally did have another screen for that. And then can you burn it onto a DVD for me? Sure, Matt, I'll mail it to you right away. Yeah, 0 seconds. Anyways, yeah, in the film. Oh, like, why was I wearing a mask in a couple?
Waste money on this drunk.
Why? 'Cause I'm proud of you for finishing the doc. I saw firsthand how hard it was for you to stay motivated and all of the shit you went through this semester, and you deserve only good things. Just sharing the love with your community. Congrats, Laura.
Thanks. I don't know why the alert didn't come up like on the screen. But thank you. I really appreciate it. You really did. Poor Bobby had to listen to me complain about it all semester. So thank you. And thanks for supporting me through it, because I appreciate you a lot. And yeah, get your baited. You had to hear Calypso's voice in the alert. Chloe has a profile picture. Wait, what? Twin in Discord. Who? In our Discord? I don't know who it is. What's going on? I'm Dono Walling apparently. Who is my oh, is it Connor? Anyways, do you guys want to talk to Timothy? What do you think? Do we bring Timothy on? Yes, sorry. My mom is out here explaining the doc for me. Sorry, Matt, I completely got distracted from answering your question. But yes, the reason that I was wearing a mask in some of the shots is because it was supposed to represent like me being at work at night. So that's why. Yeah, my mom already explained it though in chat. Wait, Mom, what did you think? Did you like it? My family never comes to stream, so I'm just excited. Timothy, where are you? They don't want me. That's false. They do want you. Get in here. I literally have my Zoom open with Timothy. I'm ready. Laura changing her entire personality? That's false. Oh, I see Timothy. Ready?
I'm ready.
Good, because you're on.
Hey, it's me.
Hi, Timothy.
Let me mute this. There we go.
The stream? Yeah, good idea.
Laura.
Yes.
You're on mute, so I can't hear you. So I don't know what you're saying.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you now. There we go.
I was muted in Zoom. I forgot. Also, do you guys want to know something funny? Can we start with a funny story? Yeah, we are using Zoom because Zoom, to be honest, just looks a little bit cleaner than like Discord. So I decided to use Zoom.
This Zoom call has been going on for like 4 hours.
Yeah,
as well.
so I called Timothy ages ago. Bye, Colleen. Have a good night.
Bye,
Thanks
Colleen.
for coming to see it. I appreciate you and I love you. And I'll see you in 2 days. Only 2 more days.
Hi, everyone that's saying hi to me in chat. I see Wings and Jimmy and Fiona and Julia.
Wow, he's a streamer.
Yeah, well, I'm trying. I've watched enough of yours. So
yeah, well, you have. That's true. You watched me for 10 hours yesterday.
It's true.
That was
Hi,
so
Calypso.
dumb.
Hi, Cryptic.
But I would like to start off with a funny story. So
Yes.
earlier today, we started this Zoom call, like Timothy said, like hours ago, because I wanted to set up like my OBS scenes and like get everything ready. And then we decided to just leave the Zoom call on and like both put ourselves on mute and like turn our cameras off so that like once we were ready, we could just both like unmute in the call and we could start like we just did. And
It is Argy.
I was sitting here, like it was like 7:25. It was like 5 minutes before I was gonna start streaming. And all of a sudden Timothy like unmuted and started talking to me in the Zoom, and I was literally sitting here in complete silence. Like I was just sitting at my PC like setting things up, and I had my headphones on, and he started talking to me, and it didn't really scare me. Like I could hear him unmute before he started talking, so it wasn't like it completely startled me, but it was
I
funny.
wasn't trying to scare you.
Yeah,
either.
fair.
If I was trying to scare you, I would have come on and been like, boo.
Yeah, right. Which would have been
But I just came on and I was like, is this a direct line to famous Twitch streamer Laura the Store?
It was funny.
I have an important question for you, Laura, before we get too far into
Yeah, I already know what it is.
I know you know what it is. Did you eat before coming on the stream tonight?
Yes, I did.
Good.
I did.
That's rare for you.
So. Hey, not lately. I got better at it, to be fair.
That's true. You have improved.
Good night. Good night, Taylor and Aaron. Thanks for watching. And I miss you, Taylor. And I mean you too, Aaron. And yeah, see you later. Yeah, I had Coggins, since you asked. I had a bowl of chili before I came on. And
Nice.
It was good. I thought I would feel more nervous than I did. To be honest. Because like I know before like other bigger, more planned streams that I've done, I have felt really nervous, like the mod apps and like the 1 year and stuff. I was talking to you about this earlier, Timothy. But I actually felt like kind of calm. I think I'm pretty desensitized to this doc at this point. Like I'm just like
the two times I've personally like watched it recently that I've like had feelings about it have been when we showed it in class and when we showed it tonight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just kind of like, oh, this again? Like,
yeah.
How many hundreds of times have I seen it?
I know. Well, like it definitely, it was also Mother. It was your chili. Hi, Varsha.
Hi, Varsha.
No, Coggins, we didn't have an IRL class. So basically, good question to get the ball rolling, I guess. Mm-hmm. But, so our year at school, of our program made 46 documentaries.
46 in total. There was originally 50 greenlit and 46 were completed.
Yeah. So
I don't know what happened to the other 4.
Yeah, who knows about the other 4, but so we had 46 completed short documentaries across our year. Which
and the bulk of them are really, really good.
They're amazing. Yeah, which is crazy too, considering there's only about 90 or 100 people in our year. So
120.
Oh, well, I was wrong. But either way, for 120 people to make 46 of those, essentially, what you just saw is like pretty insane. And so we couldn't go to class in person and have like an actual like in-person screening of them like they normally would on like a non-COVID year. So what we did instead was we had like a Zoom call basically, and we put them all on like a watch together, and then we watched them on the Zoom call.
Together.
Yeah. Together. Yeah. How much of it was made over the interwebs then? Like of everybody's docs? Probably a lot.
Yeah, for a lot of the docs, people like didn't meet up in person. Like for Laura's doc here, there was a group of 4 of us working on it. Mm-hmm. And not once did we actually meet in person in any capacity other than like over Zoom and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the other docs, people like that were working on them lived together or were like really close and were able to like meet up for certain aspects. But even then it was really limited. Pretty much the only way you were allowed to meet up with people was like if you were filming an outdoor scene. Yeah. So like you and like someone else could meet up and wear your masks and socially distance and kind of get your shots. So
yeah.
Which one doc actually used to really good effect. They were interviewing a priest and they literally just set up this shot outside the church.
Yeah.
And it's a really, really nice shot, but they were
cool.
just able to do the whole interview with them outside,
mm-hmm.
Which was like an interesting approach.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to do this time of year, so they must have shot in early October.
Yeah, anybody who was shooting stuff outside would have had to like get that out of the way because I mean, unless you want to stand outside in like the freezing cold.
And speaking of that, just kind of the social distancing and working remotely, mm-hmm. There's a group of our classmates that are from China.
Yes, true.
And they were all in China because they went home when the pandemic started, and they're still there. So they kind of collaborated, and they made this really amazing doc about one of the director, I believe it was, his family. They have like a watch shop where they fix watches and gears and stuff like that. So it's kind of about that.
It was really cool.
And it's really cool. And not only did they do that, but they did it literally 12 hours off of all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So like still come into class, still having meetings with their profs.
They basically had like the same experience I had working night shifts in the summer, but just like all through school, which is crazy. Like they were just on a different time zone than us for the entire semester.
It's really impressive what our year was able to pull off, I think.
Yeah. Yes, Coggins, we did have a Google Drive, by the way. I know you asked that as a joke, but we did. And it was set up by the faculty, and we had to put everything in there. So, but we used OneDrive for transmitting our footage because it's way better.
Yeah.
I use OneDrive now.
I still complain about that all the time. Like through our
Yeah.
program, we
Yeah.
get Office 365 and a full 1 terabyte of storage that we all have access to.
Yeah.
They're like, let's use Google Drive. And I'm like,
So
why?
dumb.
The OneDrive tools are way better. We have more storage. Like,
Yeah. Argy had a question, so I'm gonna answer it. It's still there, Brad. Argy said, how is it writing for the doc? So, good question.
yeah, that is a good question.
This was the first thing that I've ever written, to be honest. This was the first thing that I've ever directed or written or produced, although I would say that Timothy probably did most of the producing like work, to be honest. But
You got all that final paperwork.
I did, which was a lot. But yeah, so writing was interesting because I think what is defined as producing, we'll do that one next. Wow, people actually have questions. Pog,
Yeah.
This is exciting. So yeah, writing it was interesting because like writing something like this is a lot different than writing like a narrative film or something like fictional. Hi, Troy. And writing for like fiction, I don't think I would try because that intimidates me, and like having to actually come up with a story, that's like a lot different than what I did here, because obviously like the extent of the writing that I did for this was just writing my own voiceover, which you heard, and that was basically just me. So the approach that we kind of took writing it was that I just wrote out, like I kind of just told my story on paper, like the way that I would tell it, and
Do
then
you have our first beats screenshot?
oh, the like funny one.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Thank you.
Brad, thanks for the 5
I have
minutes.
it. I could send it to you.
All right, yeah, send it if you want.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
But yeah, so I kind of wrote it out that way, and then I sent it over to Timothy because so a lot of you might know or you might not. I'm an editing major, so editing is like my main focus that I do most of the time, and I edited this. And Timothy is a writing and directing major, so it was really helpful having him on board for it, especially for like the writing part of things, because he actually knows what he's doing and I don't. So I kind of sent it over to him. He, workshopped it a little bit. And
How should I send this to you?
Facebook.
Okay.
And then yeah, so he kind of made some changes, made it a little bit stronger, like structure wise, and then sent it back to me. And then he made a lot of changes that I didn't like because he used a lot of words that like I wouldn't use. And like my whole goal for the narration was just to make it sound really like natural, like as much like myself, because obviously it is scripted, like clearly, like I didn't just sit down and say all of that. I wrote it and took many takes of it. And so I kind of changed it up a little bit from what Timothy had to make it sound a little bit more like myself. Hopefully that came across. And then, yeah, so that's kind of like how the writing for it went, which wasn't bad. Also, hi, Nathan. I see you using the emotes.
That is sent, by the way.
All right, hold on.
Just to give my thoughts on the writing aspect, if anyone's kind of interested. As Laura mentioned, my majors are writing and directing.
Yeah.
And to be transparent, and Laura knows this from day one, so this is not like a shock, I don't have much of an interest in making documentaries.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching them. They're very fascinating. But as far as actually like making one goes, I was like,
Yeah.
So the writing approach for this, though, is like Laura kind of already knew vaguely what she wanted. Like, you have your subject and your topic. And really it's about finding the narrative in that, because like all stories share a narrative structure. It can be vastly different even with those same kind of like structure, but it's really just sitting down and finding out where that structure is and like what the actual story of the documentary is.
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, it was, I don't want to say it was easy or straightforward, but it had the benefit that like we were talking and we were reflecting on past events. So it was really just a matter of kind of like talking through with Laura what she wanted to say, which ended up kind of just her kind of just free writing on that, and then taking that and finding the structure within it. Whereas I worked on another documentary as well, and that one was like, it was like a mix of like a past story, but also the story was still ongoing. And actually 2 or 3 times throughout the production of that documentary, major things happened that made us had to like go shoot more footage and rework our story and figure out, okay, like what is the story now? So writing a documentary is actually really interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I kind of got both ends on it, where it's like, on one side it was just like, oh, we're writing a narration to cover past events, and how we can visually put that together. And then the other one, it's like we have a story that is actively unfolding, that's very personal. Like the other story, just to give a brief synopsis of it, one of our classmates had the same name as a criminal from his hometown.
I talked about this yesterday.
So it's just this wild story. And like as we were telling the documentary, or like filming and telling the story, the guy like got arrested again. And, like, reached out to him. Like it's crazy. And actually, literally just before you brought me on here, I was getting Facebook messages from my group for that. As part of the doc, he was reaching out to other people to try and find out like that had similar experiences. And he reached out to this guy who has the same name as a Guantanamo Bay inmate. And the guy never got back to him. But he just got back to him and wants to do an interview with him.
Oh wow. That's
and
crazy.
this guy has like a Netflix show and like a podcast and stuff.
Oh yeah, I remember him saying that.
Yeah, so it's potentially a pretty big deal.
Also, I just want to say, if we miss questions from anyone in chat, just send them again until we answer them. Because like we'll probably end up talking about a lot of them for like quite a long time. So also hi Manav and Megan as well. I see you guys. But yeah,
I was not born with a pencil in my hand. I was born with a liquor bottle.
Great.
Because that's what all great writers do.
This is what see you later, Georgia. Thanks for coming by. This is what Timothy was referring to also, with the original, when we were my camera being there. Bye.
Yes. So this is when we were trying to
see you, Connor.
Figure out that kind of like vague story.
Yeah.
And it was difficult. Laura was struggling with kind of that, so we just kind of turned it into a joke.
Yeah, this is obviously like, a joke.
but even though it's a joke and it's written humorously, you can still see like the basic structure of the documentary is in there.
Yeah.
It's just written in a ridiculous manner.
Yeah, of course. Anyways, I saw some other questions. I'm gonna try to scroll up in chat a little bit and make sure we get them all. Let me put my camera back on. Sorry, this is kind of scuffed using Zoom. But yeah, let me scroll up a little bit. Coggins also asked, did Timothy work on multiple group projects here? So yeah, you did.
So for Laura's project, I co-wrote it and co-produced it. And then for the other documentary, I co-wrote, co-produced, and co-directed it.
Yeah. And I'm going to go to Coggins' question first because I would like to talk about that just before I get any further really here. But Coggins asked what the other members of the group did. So we had 2 other members of our group. It was a pretty small group. There's only 4 of us. One is Curtis, who was our transmedia head, and he ran the Instagram page and the Twitter page for the documentary, and like those videos of Wings, Josh, Birdie, and Jimmy were him. Like he put like I collected them from them obviously because I'm the one that know them and reached out to them and asked them to do it, but then he was the one that put like the little bumper on the beginning and end that said like Alone Together with the date of the premiere and that kind of stuff. So he did that. And he also just like gave like general feedback and stuff like throughout the process of making it. And then the other member of our group was Charles. And Charles was our DP, which stands for Director of Photography. And a DP is like kind of the person who's in charge of like all the visuals of a film. And in a normal like non-COVID year, the DP would probably end up being the main like camera operator as well for like a smaller, like not on like a major film, but on a smaller like student productions, the DP is often the camera operator. Unfortunately, Charles didn't get to really like a lot of the stuff he couldn't help with because as you saw like in the documentary, a lot of the shots were me. And he couldn't come into residence to shoot shots of me. So Nathan, actually, I don't know if Nathan is still here, but Nathan is a friend of mine who I work with, and he ended up shooting most of the shots of me, which I really appreciated, and he did a great job. And Nathan is a journalism student, so I kind of yoinked him to help with that. And you guys have seen Nathan on stream before. He's been on stream a couple times. But yeah, so that's what they did. Is Nathan part of the group? Nah, so Nathan just got yoinked because I needed somebody to help me.
I'm just gonna jump in real quick on a couple of the questions that are real quick to answer, if that's okay.
Yeah.
First off, it hasn't been marked yet, Spitfire. And also, I hope if I remind you of your manager, that you at least like your manager. And yes, Nathan is credited for his contribution.
Yep. And like if you look in the credits scroll by really fast because we were limited to 30 seconds of credits. But the Wings and Josh, Birdie, and Jimmy were also credited as special thanks for their little videos they did for the Instagram page. Wings was also credited. Everybody that was in like any of the photos and videos of me at the beginning, they were all credited under like featuring. And yeah, so everybody was credited. Yeah,
that's actually a really good point. When we were putting the special thanks, we thanked specific people, but we didn't think to put like a thanks to Laura's Twitch community or anything like that.
We could have thrown it in.
Generally, yeah, it's not too late.
Put one in now. Never too late.
But that's a really good point because we are grateful to all of you.
Yeah, of course.
Especially those times like, you know, Laura would hop on and she's like, I need you guys to pretend you're doing this.
Yes. Yeah, true. You guys deserve a thanks for the people who helped with the fake chat. I did see you pointed that out, Coggins. You said like the real chat, like PogChamp thing when it was, definitely real chatting. And some of it was, to be fair, anything that was taken of like clips from the stream, it was real chat, but then there was 3 or so that had fake chat. Thanks to everybody who came in. I'm going to scroll up and just see.
I went back up and I was copying some of the questions. There was some repetition, but
okay.
You did ask them to repeat.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions I think was from Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
From the original idea, was the finished product much different?
Yes, definitely a lot different. Enjoy work, Mother. Thank you for coming in. I'm excited to see you on Sunday, and I'm glad that you liked it. Yes. So the original, everyone, say bye to Mother Stork. Who knows when we'll see her again? It's a rare occurrence for her to be here. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So the beginning thing was definitely a lot different. I think, to be honest with you, just speaking from like my perspective on the whole thing, I feel like when I first started this, I really didn't know where I was going entirely. And one thing that I really learned from this experience, because like I said, I'm an editing major. So normally, like even in the past when I've been in like camera classes and stuff, like I took cinematography classes as a second like thing last year. And I ended up editing on every project that I did. Like it's like the main thing I like to do. And so I find for me, as someone who's used to editing all the time, it was really hard to sort of like conceptualize things before shooting them, if that makes sense. Like obviously as like a director or a writer or whatever, that's literally your entire job is like sort of, well, not your entire job, but a big part of it is to, come up with the whole concept and come up with what visuals you want and come up with what you want to shoot and whatever before it happens. And that was a really big struggle for me, I found, because I was just having a really hard time. Like for me, when we submitted, one of our assignments was to submit a rough cut of the doc. Mm-hmm. And that was about halfway through the semester probably, or maybe a little bit after that. And we had to, and the first rough cut of the doc that I did literally was half black screens with placeholders saying like what we were going to put there, because I really couldn't come up with what shots I wanted to put in some places until I literally had the voiceover laid out in a Premiere timeline and like could see everything laid out in front of me. And then it like made sense. And I was like, oh, and I went back to Timothy and Curtis and Charles. And then it was like, okay, so now what do we put here? I think that method of like working almost in reverse works better for me, which is why I don't think I could be a director, because it's hard.
Working on a doc is a lot different than a narrative, because a narrative you kind of conceptualize it, storyboard it, figure it out. And obviously it still changes like from the conception to the end. But with documentary, a large part of it is you kind of have an idea and you write a treatment that's like, this is what I want to explore, and these are the kind of questions and ideas I want to ask.
Yeah.
And then you go out and you capture as much as you can, and then you start bringing it into the edit and figuring out what story you can tell with what you found. And then in that case, there'll be the little things like, oh, if we had just this, we could go get it and it would work better. But in this case, it was kind of like a weird mix, because it was like we're reflecting on the past. We need visual evidence for that. But like, what exactly is the story we want to tell? Yeah. And like in the original version, like on paper, and even like the first rough cut, there was like a whole section with like a news and like a news anchor talking about like the COVID pandemic and like that's not in there anymore now. There's a bunch of shots that were shot that just ended up getting completely cut out. So like it did definitely change dynamically, but the final product is still the spirit of what Alora originally said she wanted to make.
Yeah, it's still got the same theme and the same like point, I feel.
Yeah. Like that was consistent throughout.
Megan, I feel like Coggins asked another question that he was asking about storyboarding, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that right there. Yeah.
So we didn't. Can I show the paper edit on stream?
I can't see any reason why not.
So
I don't think there's any doxing in there.
I'll look. I'll give it a skim beforehand. Yeah. So
well, I'll see how much. While you're looking that up, I'll talk about some of these other questions.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm copying them. Coggins, you've got a couple, so I might skip ahead maybe. I still have your producing question queued up. Don't worry, we'll get to that.
Yes.
But it's going to be a bigger one, I think, maybe. So let's talk about Coggins' questions here. How much of the decision-making process was collaborative? Pretty much all of it from my point of view, which kind of plays into my role as a producer. But like there was a team of 4 of us. But since me and Laura were the writers, producers, and then she was the director, it kind of comes down to us. Like obviously we would show the other members of our team cuts and talked about what we thought we're thinking, and took their feedback into consideration, but they kind of acted almost a little bit more as like outside eyes, like when you're working on something like this, you can get so close up to it that you don't really
definitely
it. And even as like we're showing pretty much every week we're going to our profs and giving them an update, and even they start to become a little blind to it, even though they're only hearing about it once a week.
Man, we did show it.
I am copying, pasting questions into Word as I see them, so I could be missing, and they're probably not in the right order. But so in that regard, it's really collaborative because me and like Laura said, with the writing stage, we kind of talked about what she wanted to tell, and then she went and wrote it, and then I took it and I kind of rewrote it, mostly with a focus on structure, but I also kind of like just used my own language for it. So then she took that, and I think she was pretty. Yeah, I think she was happy with the structure I gave it.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of like the language that I used in a lot of places wasn't like her voice, so she changed that. And there's a bit of back and forth on that. And then as we got closer, like stuff was being shot and we were in the edit. Like for quite a while, Laura and I would literally sit on Zoom together, and she would share her screen
while I was editing. Yeah,
and we would just like play the edit, talk about little things, we'd be like, oh, should the sound come in just a little bit sooner here? And she'd try it, and we'd play it a couple times, and oh well, what if we did this? And just a lot of back and forth, which
like would be a normal part of the process anyways, but like that would normally happen in person. Like we would go to the campus and go sit in an edit lab, and then like he would sit next to me and we could look at it in Premiere or like Avid or whatever we were editing in, and then do that. But then obviously because of COVID and everything that we couldn't see each other, we did it on Zoom instead, which actually wasn't so bad. We had many Zoom calls until like 6 a.m. and it was a time. Also, I have the paper edit up here if we want to go back to Coggins' storyboarding question.
Yeah, for sure. I also see there's a question here from Julia and Denise that are both pretty similar, I think.
Yeah, we'll go to them. We'll talk about the paper edit and then we'll go to that. So
and Coggins, real quick, an edit lab looks like a room with a bunch of computers.
Yeah, pretty much. It's not really too exciting.
Some of the fancier ones have some like extra screens.
Yeah.
That give you just like information, but it's just information you can bring up on your screen anyways. It's just you put it down there so you have a dedicated monitor for just like what your colors look like and that kind of stuff.
The other like the editing classes that I have taken thus far have been just basically in like computer labs that we have access to, but like only the editing students at the school have access to them, so we'll go in and we can work there. And then there is an upper year editing lab that I didn't get a chance to go to because of COVID, but I think next semester I have a class in there in person, which is exciting. And it has like bigger sort of, and I'll let you know when I get there what those edit suites look like. But
in the real world, an edit suite would look basically just like a computer setup. You probably have 2 or 3 monitors so that you can work, and you probably also have a big screen TV attached that's like color calibrated, so that way like when the director or like producer or whoever you're collaborating with is there, they can watch on that and they're not like literally right over top of your shoulder.
So we didn't really have like storyboards or anything for this, I wouldn't say. No worries, Argy. And so this is what we had, kind of not instead of storyboards, but this is something similar to storyboards that we did that might be kind of interesting. But this is what's called a paper edit. So when we were initially writing it, we took the voiceover that we had and we put it into this table essentially. And so you can see like this section here, like that's my voiceover. You know, yes, Jimmy, what? That's, you know, and then you can see we went through here. And so there's columns here that have, I'm doxing? Where?
There's no doxing. I think he's just being...
Yeah, there's literally nothing there. Anyways, so...
Oh, actually, he's right. Scroll down.
Okay. Anyways. So yeah, so we have...
I saw it eventually.
Thanks, Jimmy. We have the voiceover over here, and then in here we put, like, a description of what we would like to have like on screen during that time. So, you know, you can see here we have like shots of desolate locations. This is about me, like the shots of me streaming. And then here on this far side, we have just a sort of description of what we want like the impact of that to be, or like what the point of having that in there is basically. And then along here we have the runtime. So like approximately how long we want each shot to run for. And you can see, like, we did a lot of work on this throughout. There's a lot of parts of the voiceover that got taken out. So the red parts are parts that got taken out. Yellow parts were parts that we wanted to, like, reword. And everything else was stuff that we left in. So that's kind of something that we had, like, which is similar to a storyboard, I guess. It's not as visual as a storyboard.
Don't scroll all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, whoops. Anyways, so yeah, that's that.
Yeah, and actually, maybe double check it before you bring it up. You could also probably show them Charles's, like, mood board. I think it's in there.
Oh yeah, I bet I could find it.
So we started working on this, Julia, at the beginning of the school year in September.
Mm-hmm.
We had like a couple of weeks to come up with their ideas and then pitch them. So I would say it was like right near the end of September that it was pitched.
When we started actually working on it, yeah.
And it was like approved for production. And,
yeah. Actually, I'm gonna quickly explain like sort of the process of like how like basically just like a start to finish of how the entire thing went, because I feel like that'll be helpful for like some of the other questions too, maybe.
Sure.
So essentially, in third year of our program, we have what's called Core Productions 1 and 2. So we just had, this was Core Production 1 was this class. And for Core Production 1, obviously you do documentaries, and at the beginning of the semester, like Timothy said, in the first 2 weeks, everybody pitches an idea. So you work in either alone or in groups of 2, and everybody pitches an idea that they want to do for a doc, and then the faculty will go through and review them and pick the ones that they want to be made. So they greenlit like a lot this year. Normally they greenlit like 20 or 30 projects, and this year they greenlit 50, which was like insane.
One thing I will say is it's not fully just about like which ones they want.
Which ones are the strongest?
Yeah, it's which ones they think are good, strong stories and which are possible to be done.
Yeah, like reasonable to attainable, I guess.
Attainable, yeah.
And yeah, so the doc got picked, like mine got picked, and then as did lots of other ones. And then from there, they'll send out a big list of all of the docs that get picked with what's called a log line for each one. And a log line is essentially like a 1 to 2 sentence thing about what the main theme of your documentary is, or like the theme of your story. So you can have a log line for any type of film or any type of story or anything. And then people will go through, and then typically people will reach out to you and say like your email is attached to it. So if they are interested in helping you with it, they'll like send you an email and be like, hey, do you need an editor for your project? Like, I'm interested in it. Or, hey, do you need a cinematographer? Do you need whatever? Or you can also reach out. Like, there was a lot of reaching out to each other on like our Facebook group being like, hey, I'm looking for a producer for my documentary. Like, is anybody that wants to produce, like, interested, things like that. And then essentially from there on, and that happens around like the 3 or 4 week mark of school, probably. From there on, it's just like we worked on it for the rest of the semester. So I would say for 4-ish weeks, we were conceptualizing everything, writing everything, making plans. And then I did most of my shooting over reading week, which is the halfway point. And then it was editing from there on. And now it's done. So that's pretty much like the process of it.
Yeah, but if you want to show the mood board too, if you've got that. So this isn't, so you would do this for both a narrative or a documentary, but basically it serves a similar purpose to like a storyboard in a way, in that it is a collection of images that kind of capture the visual look that you want to go for. So our director of photography, Charles, he put this together.
Yes.
And actually, I think in a small way, this will show you a little bit of like how different things are than what we initially planned.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thanks,
like
Zainab.
there's a lot of it that's in there, but just because of like restrictions of like not even being able to like meet up to shoot or like collaborate in person, certain things weren't able to be done.
Mm-hmm. So this is what Timothy's talking about. So that's sort of like the ideas that we had. So obviously we went for like, you know, this is the part that was like the city streets that were empty and stuff like that because of COVID, the shots of me streaming. And then, yeah, so that's kind of the ideas that he had initially. Yeah.
Do you think we're okay to move on to more questions?
Yes. Yeah, go for it.
All right. I'm going to skip around a little because I know we've answered a lot of Coggins
Yep.
questions. But don't worry, we will get to all of them. So it looks like Julia and Denise had similar questions here.
Okay.
So I'll just read both of them and we can address them. What was your favorite part of making the doc, and what was the most difficult part? And then favorite part of the documentary. So I don't know if that's favorite part of like the finished product or favorite part of like the process, but either way, they're very similar.
Yeah.
Favorite part of making it and least favorite part.
Yeah.
Most difficult part.
So sorry, it was the best part and the most difficult part?
Yeah, favorite part of making the doc and most difficult part.
Okay.
And then also just our favorite part of the documentary.
Yeah. So I would say the best part of making it was, like I said before, like this was the first thing that I've made thus far in like film school that I feel like I'm really proud of and like excited to show people and stuff like that. So I think my favorite part of it was just like coming out of it with that final product that I'm really happy with and that I feel good about. Honestly, I'm at a point right now where I hate it and I literally never want to watch it again because you guys have no idea in the last how many times I've watched it in the last few weeks. And I mean, anybody who's ever edited anything can empathize with that because it gets hard to watch what you're watching after you've watched it like 1,000 times. But, and also a really cool experience for me has been like being able to see everybody's reactions to it. Cause I think, being able to show it this week in my class to everybody in my year and then especially showing it on stream tonight and like getting people's reactions to it has been really cool and kind of makes the whole thing even more like fulfilling than it already was because it's just cool to see, especially like showing it, like premiering it on Twitch was like a really strange and like cool experience, like getting to see everybody kind of talking in chat during it and stuff, because I could kind of see everybody like reacting to it in real time and like that was really sweet. And then I would say the most difficult part of it was probably the fact that it was about me in a way, because especially trying to edit your footage of yourself and edit yourself and like obviously the voiceover was my voice and it was me in the shots a lot of the time and stuff like that. It got really difficult after a while, and especially starting out, I would say even in the beginning when I first started editing, it was really difficult because first of all, as an editor, it's hard to edit yourself objectively because, you know, I would be worried in some cases like, oh, like did I look better in this shot than I did in this shot versus, you know, which one's actually framed better, which like even like little things like that make it more difficult. And also just, like getting tired of the sound of your own voice and getting tired of looking at yourself. It really is like a real thing. And there was times during this that I wish I'd asked somebody else to edit the project and not done it myself because I think that it would have been maybe easier for someone else to do it. But ultimately I'm glad that I edited it myself because I think it was, I think that I already have had experience like editing. Obviously, like I've done a couple compilations from my streams and like that was an element of it. And I think overall, like I know my own story the best. So I'm happy that I did it, but it was hard at times.
I'll give my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
But real quick, Matt, there are subtitles on the documentary, but I don't believe they're up on YouTube currently because the version of the doc that we like timed out the subtitles for had what's called a leader at the start, which is like 1 minute of just kind of like information about the file that can be used for calibration purposes when it's being premiered. So it's timed out for that version, which means when we cut that off and if we put on YouTube, all the subtitles would be off by a minute.
Yeah.
So it is subtitled. And I think if it ends up going up online for like viewing, we'll just adjust that timing by going in and like tweaking it by a minute. So it is subtitled. They're just not actively there right now.
Yeah.
But as far as favorite part of making the doc and most difficult part, favorite part has been releasing it and seeing people's reactions.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a cliche answer, but it really is. Like, coming up with it is fun and working on it is fun, but like when it's done and you get to put it out there, that is that's what you make it for, is to like finish it, right? Like and as far as most difficult part, I think it was having faith for 4 months that it was gonna work out, because there was lots of times where, and I don't want to out you here, Laura, but you know I've made this joke a couple of times.
Out me, I'm down.
where as a producer, I'm checking in on Laura to make sure that like things are moving along, and it's like, we finished shooting one day and like a week later is when we need to have our first rough cut. And every day I'm talking to Laura and she's like, I tried to work on it today, but I just couldn't. Like, I can't bring myself to do it.
Procrastination, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, it's okay, Laura. Like, you just take your time. Like, you don't want to burn yourself out, And then in the back there, I'm like, oh my God, is this going to come together for a rough cut? And then we watched that first rough cut. And as Laura mentioned, like the first half of it is, or not the first half, but like chunks of it are just black with like white text on the screen explaining what's going to be there. And I'm there like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I would say,
but ultimately, obviously it worked out.
Genuinely, there was not a day that I felt good about making this documentary until about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Like the entire semester, I felt awful about it every day. And then all of a sudden, like, I think once we had everything in there and once it kind of started to like actually look like it was becoming something, I was like, like maybe this isn't actually that bad.
Yeah. And also, favorite part of the documentary itself, I think, is the hello montage at the end. Because that's where I get hit. That's where I get hit in the feels every time. and Argy, as far as going through and redoing the subtitles, that's okay.
We already have have a file for them. We just have to adjust the timing on it.
Yeah, and it's literally just going into it and saying like, remove a minute. Like it's not a significant thing. But do appreciate the offer. Do you want to answer the favorite part, or do you want me to just kind of?
Sure, I'll answer it. I would honestly say, and this is not me trying to simp or anything. Oh, sorry. Fuck, that word is banned. Oh no, that word's banned. From Twitch now. I didn't even think about it, but I love the part. Well, like the little montage of like me streaming in the middle is cool, but also the little clip of Wings' Pilot's Lounge I think really added a lot. Because one thing that we kept getting like encouragement on through the first couple stages of the rough cut and stuff was, you need to have some kind of example of some connections that you made online. Like you need to have some sort of tangible evidence of friendships that you made online. And actually, Wings' Pilot Lounge episode that I was on was weeks after I filmed most of the stuff for the documentary. So it wasn't even a thought to add it in, to be honest. But I think it just really added a lot, and yeah.
And then like speaking of the collaborative and how like back and forth and fluid the whole process is, once we decided to put that in, we were like, okay, now we have to introduce Teddy earlier on.
Yeah.
Like, people will understand that it's important, like why that's important, that interaction.
Yeah.
So we had to go and like one night when Laura was streaming, I was like, make sure you have no music and like I'll redeem a hug Teddy. And
it was all fake.
Yeah, it was all fake.
Well, no, it was real, but it was.
Teddy got a real hug.
So. The text on that was the one of the parts that was fake, like the hug for Teddy little clip thing. That was part of the text that was fake that we took, and Coggins called that one out. So, but yeah.
So Jemmy wanted to know what scene/takes took the longest to film in terms of getting the framing and timing just right. I have an immediate answer to that, but
you go first.
The part where we were interacting with each other over text.
yeah.
I think that was the hardest because we had to just like make sure that the texts were being sent at the right time, and mostly on Laura's end, because at my end you don't ever actually see me receiving the text.
Right.
But that was important to show that on Laura's side. So for that, we literally just like hopped on a Zoom call together, and I like muted myself, and she would go through it, and I already have it pre-typed, and she'd say like, all right, hit send now, and then I hit send, and it would come through, and then like we'd have to go delete the messages out of the like chat history so we could do another take. So that one was like the most technically challenging, I think, as far as like shooting.
Also, good night, Julia. See you later.
Night, Julia.
My answer for that one's actually different. That is an interesting answer, though.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, like, in general, the parts of me, like the clips of me, like, plugging in the Christmas lights, like, setting up the stream, like, and the kind of, like, faked shots of me streaming in general, those took quite a while. And part of the reason was because, and this is 100%, like, nothing but love for Nathan. Like, absolutely owe him everything, because this would not have happened without him. But Nathan didn't really have much experience with, like, shooting anything before. Like, Nathan is a friend of mine who's also an RA here. And
He's been on stream.
And he's been on stream a couple times, yeah. And he's a journalism student. And this semester he had been doing B-roll assignments in his editing class. And so I went to him and I was like, hey, I need help because I can't shoot these shots. I don't even have a tripod currently. Like, I literally have nothing. All I have is my camera. So I was like, you know, Nathan, if you would like to, I would love to have your help shooting it, because I need someone to help shoot the shots of me that I can't get myself. So Coggins, the school does usually provide equipment, but we can't have it right now because of COVID. Like, we have a massive equipment room in the college that we can rent equipment from, like cameras, tripods, sound equipment, like lighting equipment, tons of stuff, but we can't have access to any of it, which is also a part of what made making these docs for everybody really challenging this semester.
And it's also why it's so impressive how well they turned out.
Yeah, 100%.
Because we had 46 people making documentaries with the tools that they had available to them at home.
Yeah.
Which for some people meant like an iPhone, and for other people, you know, meant like a decent camera.
Yeah.
But we didn't have that like unification of like we have the school
same equipment. Yeah.
One thing that was freeing about that though is in the past, because we all have to share the equipment and there's only so much, you only get 2 days to shoot your documentary, and then like later on you can have like a single pickup day if there's extra stuff that you need.
Yeah, it's true.
But because of the way that we did it this year with using your own stuff, people were able to, you know, shoot over a period of a couple of weeks and tell a more in-depth story.
Yeah. I agree.
Also, Matt, as far as copying and paste for the text, I did, because mine's not really shown me typing on screen except for one part. And I think I only did like 2 takes of it. Laura had to type out all of her messages every single time.
I typed them out. But yeah, so I would say, to answer the question anyways, I would say that the parts of me streaming were really challenging because they generally were just like, the lighting was weird on them, and Nathan just like I said, doesn't have a whole lot of experience, but Nathan took my direction about the shots like a freaking champ, and I appreciate him so much, because a lot of that process was like, you know, him taking a shot and me being like, well, like, I think you need a little bit more headroom here, and like, you know, because I didn't realize, to be honest, until I did this, how much of like shooting and like, you know, in general is like not that intuitive sometimes, like for someone who isn't,
like you've learned it, so you just kind of like,
exactly. And so, you know, I want to say a massive shout out to Nathan. I don't know if Nathan's still here. I'm sure he would have said something in chat if he was, but
I imagine too it was a decent learning experience for him.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure it would have been. Yeah.
And yeah, Coggins, it did make, like, they've been pretty lenient and as far as grading and like schedules and stuff go.
Yeah.
This semester with COVID, like, you know, assignments being handed in a little like delayed or getting an extension has been a lot easier. And you know, normally they would probably mark us pretty hard on like the visual quality.
Yeah.
But they're probably a little looser on that, like, you know, because they know some people had to shoot on their iPhone and not the like $15,000 school camera that we normally would be using. So a question that was Julia's, and I know she's gone, but
we can answer it anyways.
We answer it anyways.
Yeah.
Wanted to know if there's anything we would have changed/added if we had more time. And this actually kind of leads into a question that Argy was asking as well.
Yeah. Megan, we actually already showed the doc. We showed the doc at the beginning at 8 o'clock, but you can go back in the VOD if you want to watch it, and also it'll be on YouTube. So for anybody who missed it, I can send out the link. It's unlisted on YouTube, but I'll hit you with the link. But yeah, so things I would have done differently or like changed if I had more time. I would say, to be honest, so I'm going to bring up a quote that Timothy and I have been saying a lot.
Also, I'll just really quickly just read what Argy's question was, since it's very similar.
Sure.
When we were producing it, what's something that we truly wanted to be in the doc but had to cut either due to length or time restrictions?
Okay.
So very similar, something that we, you know, would have changed or something that we wish we could have kept in.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one thing I would have liked to add, as I said before, had this not had the 6-minute restriction that it did, I would have loved to make this, like I said, more clearly about other people, rather than just about me and my own story. Like I said, part of the reason that I asked Wings and Josh and Birdie and Jimmy to do those videos for the Instagram was because I wanted to have a way to get other people involved and other people talking about their experience, be a part of it, to sort of like really hit home on the fact that like this is something that a lot of people went through this year. Like the pandemic is something that everyone went through this year, no matter where you are or who you are. But you know, that kind of, everybody went through that kind of struggle of like trying to find ways to be social and try to find like other ways to supplement that in their lives when they couldn't do other things. So if I could have made this longer, Jimmy, I think I asked about 10 or more people, but the 4 that we got were golden. So yeah. So I anyways, I would have loved, if I could have made this longer than 6 minutes, I would have loved to have more people's stories told than just mine, and like been able to interview other people and stuff like that. And then for the more like related to Julia's question of like, you know, things that I would have changed or done differently if I had more time. Timothy took this quote from Timothy was watching a lot of like Disney Plus behind the scenes documentary things.
Disney propaganda.
Yeah, his Disney propaganda, as we call it. Timothy was going through like all the behind the scenes documentaries and stuff.
I know
Disney
what quote
Plus.
this is going to be.
Yeah. And one quote he told me that was from like, I think it was a documentary about like the making of Pixar films or something like that. Was somebody from Pixar said, "We don't finish our films, we just release them." And I think that like rings so true to anything that you would ever make. And even watching it now, like the reality is of like editing and of making anything is that the more and more you watch it, you're going to see different things each time. You're going to see like, you know, this time around, you might notice this one thing that's wrong, but you might completely miss something else. And then you might watch it again 2 days later and be like, how did I not notice this other thing that was like missing or whatever?
And also you'll change something and you're like, yes, that's the right change. And then like you watch it 2 days later and you're like, oh, like I need to fix that. Like, and you put it back the way it was, or you know, you like eventually you have to make you have to make a call and just like be like, this has to be done by whatever day, so it's going out. Coggins did kind of add on to this question, like if there's anything we would have done differently with more resources.
I did see that. But yeah, so I just to finish like my thought from before, I think that I really feel that because there was things like watching it even just this past week where there was shots where I was like, oh, I wish I just had like, and once again, anybody who's edited anything before will probably relate to this in some capacity, but like seeing like, even just seeing certain shots and being like, oh, I wish I had cut that off just like a few frames sooner, or I wish I had done this or this, and like very, very fine tuning like specific things that nobody would ever notice. Like nobody is ever gonna, you know, pick up on that except for somebody who's watched it 1,000 times, or maybe somebody who knows what they're doing in terms of like film and editing and stuff like that. But so I would say just in general, yeah, there's lots of little like small changes I would have made, but ultimately I had to just export it and be like, okay, this is done. Like I can't fix it anymore. Like it's over. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add on there.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. So like I echo that, like had we had more like time and like not even just to make it, but like as runtime for the product. It's weird to call it a product, but the project to tell more stories, you know, about like how other people were impacted by Twitch and whatnot. Yeah, cleaner phone would have been so I echo that. I think that would have been nice to have brought more people in and done interviews with them and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I'm kind of glad we didn't. Like there's other documentaries that people in our class did where they did interview like multiple people in that kind of a capacity. And while they are good, you can tell it had an impact on like other aspects of the documentary. Like they weren't able to tell fully that, or you're only able to see each interview subject for like such a short period of time.
Not to mention the fact that we literally couldn't have interviewed people like in person for this, so it would have been hard to do that anyways.
Yeah, I mean, even if we had done it over like Zoom or something, right, and like included them, which is what a lot of people did do.
Yeah.
As far as like if there was more resources allocated to us, and we, you know, this isn't a perfect world, but there's no COVID, and we could shoot in person and whatnot. but still kind of have the time that we did, as opposed to being limited to 2 days.
Yeah.
One of the initial ideas that we had, which did not make it into the documentary because we could not ffigure out how to do it because of our limited resources.
I know what you're gonna say.
Was we had this idea where, as like we wanted to have Laura in a dark room, and as messages, like chat messages of people, like her interacting with people, came up, we were gonna like figure out a way to kind of CG them in, but add like physical light. So like as the chats were coming in, she went from being in darkness to being in light.
Yeah.
And we talked about some different ways to do it and how it could theoretically work. And they would have worked. It's just a matter of we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the ability to get together in time.
And also, like,
physical space.
Yeah,
So-
being able to do something so visual like that would have 100% required like studio space and studio time, which had it been a normal year and had we have been able to go to the campus, we could have, because we would have had studios available to us that we could have used and lighting and stuff like that. But we literally had like nothing to work with that would have made that possible. So
so had we had resources, like more like that's something I would have loved to have done, because I think it would have been very visually beautiful, and like have a lot of impact. But instead we had to kind of find, well, we didn't even really find a supplement for it. We just kind of abandoned the idea.
Yeah, we got rid of it.
Like the closest we have to it, like starting in a dark room, is like when you start plugging in your lights and setting up stuff.
And that kind of also goes back to, I can't remember who asked it before, if it was Denise or Jamie maybe, about like how different the final product was to like what we ended up with. Like there's a perfect example of an idea that we had that we literally just like, after a week or so of talking about it, we were like, yeah, this isn't going to work. So we just moved on and figured out a different way to tell the story. And that's kind of what it is. That's kind of how the game goes.
Yeah. One thing about filmmaking, whether it's documentary or narrative or what have you, is like 99% of it is problem solving.
Yeah, true.
It is coming up with the best plan that you can come up with so that you are prepared, and then going and doing it and everything going wrong. But because you had that plan, you can adapt.
Yeah.
And be intelligent.
Some would say that I was just gonna say, some would say that intelligence is the ability to adapt to change. Sorry, anyways.
But like that is actually true about film. Like it's very much so about like you plan a lot and hopefully it goes according to plan. But the point of planning is more so that like when things don't go wrong, you at least have something to hold on to.
Yeah.
You know, and it also gives you a lot more creative freedom. Like even if everything goes perfect, if you have a solid plan, you can go execute that plan. And then once you've like gotten the things that are outlined, you can be like, all right, like now what? Like, do you want to do this crazy creative, like try something new? Like, I know there's a lot of actors that do kind of improvisation in their films, you know, like Bill Murray and the late Robin Williams and people like that. And I've heard quotes from them before where it's basically, you know, you go in and you do it once according to the script, so that you know you've got it, and then after that it's just like, you know, how much time do we have? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, like just trying a bunch of different ways to approach it. So I think now, because I don't think I've seen any other
We never talked about Coggins producing question.
That's what I was going to say. Is
Okay.
we can finally get to Coggins producing question.
Perfect. It was one of the first. Now we're
It was
finally
one of the
on to it.
first, and it's just, I think it's going to be, I mean, they've all been kind of long answers. But...
Yeah. No, everything's been a long answer. We're just sitting here peepo nodding.
So producing is one of those things where it means a lot of different things to a lot of different people.
Yeah, and it also could mean a lot of different things depending on the scale of the project you're doing and like what you're working on and stuff too. But I guess we can just answer it for the context of like what it was for this project.
Yeah. And I'll just give a quick general sense.
Yeah.
A producer is in charge of the project. In some cases, that means financially, they're the ones providing money for it. In most cases, it means they were probably hired by the studio that's providing money for it to kind of oversee it.
Yeah.
And you will have, I believe, executive producer is the term, if it's just kind of a money, you're doing that. And then you have your like actual producer. And there's many different types of producers. There's like line producers and associate producers, and it's crazy. But in a general sense, a producer is in charge of the project and making sure it comes to completion.
Yeah.
And that is both a creative role and a logistical role. So for this project, because it's small scale and we're a small team, it was both of those. In many ways, it was a very creative aspect to the role because we would sit down and we would make those creative decisions.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes people think of the director as being kind of like the creative holder, like, you know, of the keys, as you might say, like for a project. And that is definitely true, because the director is the one that kind of like executes all that stuff.
Yeah.
But the producer would be a head, like a tier above the director in those regards, in theory, to like make calls on creative decisions.
Yeah.
Which can be problematic if your producer doesn't have a creative bone in their body.
Which happens a lot.
It does. And that's also why you will see a lot of directors like also produce their work, even if they're only like a co-producer.
Yeah.
So for example, like in this project, technically speaking, had I produced it and Laura just directed it, I would have technically had the creative control of the project over Laura. Would I have exercised that? No, because that is a great way to have someone never want to work with you again.
Yeah.
But you know, in our role as co-producers, like, so what we mainly did is there's that creative aspect of just like I said, and it's kind of a weird mix because we also did like other things, like we co-wrote as well as co-produced.
So we both had a lot of roles. Yeah.
But for us in this case, it mostly boils down to that creative stuff, of figuring out the story and making those decisions. Like that's why I was in on the edit, right? Like if I had only been a writer, there, like I'm sure I would have sat in on the edit anyways, because me and Laura are friends, and she would have needed an opinion.
Yeah.
But as like, because of my role as producer, that's why I sit in on the edit and get to make suggestions like, let's try this, let's try that, like let's see how that works, or even just like you know, in some cases say like, I don't think that's working, let's not do it.
I think Coggins, a lot of, sorry to cut you off, Timothy.
No, go ahead.
Like a lot of it comes down to two, like I think there's more, and maybe you can agree or disagree, Timothy, but I think there's more things that a producer would do that a director wouldn't than what a director would do and a producer that I don't know if that made sense. But like like for example, like a lot of like something specifically that was a big part of like producing this project was that we had a lot of, I don't know if I can explain it, Coggins, but we had a lot of like paperwork to do. So like we had, you know,
that was the other aspect I was going to get to with producing. So there's that whole creative side of it, but then, and this is kind of the more traditional like producer role, is the logistics of it. You know, so for me on this one, since I wasn't directing and, you know, the writing happened early on and there was some revisions throughout and whatnot, it was largely a matter of like going through all the requirements for our course. Like, what do we need to hand in? Like, what paperwork are going through all those things, figuring out when they were due, getting templates together, filling out documents, getting other people to sign documents. Like for those of you that did the testimonial thing, you'll know that you had this like form you had to like, this Google form you had to like
Wings
read
can vouch,
fill out all these things. Like all of that was me like putting it together, and like when it says like please name it this, that's like to make my life easier, because like it just keeps everything's organized. So yeah, it's definitely more like a manager in a lot of ways, and that's why like for like
Jimmy
awards, like awards and the like Academy Awards and stuff like that, obviously that's not where we're at, but
it's not.
No, not yet.
I thought we were winning an Oscar for this.
Well, maybe. But the reason I bring it up is that when you have like Best Picture, it's the producer that gets the award. Not the director. Unless the director is a producer on it, in which case they would get to. Because the producer is kind of like the shepherd of the film. So
shepherd of the film, interesting.
So, well, in a way, they're a shepherd of the production, I guess. So when Coggins, you asked for like a distinction between director and producer, is it just reach of creative control? It can be. It really depends on like what contracts say, because there will be directors that will negotiate what's called final cut contract, which means they have final creative.
I'm literally learning right now.
So like most of the time though, it's like a mix. And at the end of the day too, it's also one of those things like people want to work with people that they get along with and work well with. So if you're gonna burn a bridge over something, you know, you gotta weigh the options of what that means. Like that person might never want to work with you again. That might make other people never want to work with you again. But like, as I was saying, a producer has a key aspect of creative control. And in some films, like some producers don't want creative control. They're like, I'll do all the paperwork. I'll get you the money. We'll figure out the logistics of like if it hadn't been a COVID shoot and we were like, hey, and Laura was like, hey, I want to be able to go shoot at the bowling alley. You know, that's a producer's job to figure out how to make that happen.
Right.
You know, to reach out to the bowling or like find a location, reach out to them, try and convince them to do it for free and not charging you a lot. How many people you can bring in, how much time you're going to be able to get there. Like, and that can be delegated to other like roles. Like you might have a production manager or a location manager who would like help with that. But like, that would be a producer's responsibility. Producer's kind of like a CEO, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much CEO of a movie.
But then when you get the director is the singular person with all the answers to the question of the actual film. So while the producer is running the production, the director is the one that, you know, makeup is coming to saying like, how do you want it to look? You know, and they have to make that decision. You know, they're the one going to the actors, guiding them through how they want them to act in the scene, what their emotions should be, what their motivations are. Like they have that like really fine creative control, but even then it's also a lot of handing off. Like technically the director is in charge of like the visual, but they will hand that off to the cinematographer, the director of photography, who kind of ends up like a director of photography actually runs the set on a shoot.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the director's obviously there and they're the ones probably yelling cut and take and all that stuff. But as far as like if a light needs to be moved or like a piece of furniture or anything like that needs to be moved, it's going to be the director of photography making that call. The director might request for it to happen, but it's not happening until the DOP actually makes the formal like, let's do this. Or the first AD, who's also kind of like the one that really, really runs the set. Like in the production planning stage, the director is making all of these really creative decisions.
Assistant director Coggins.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Us forgetting that people don't know what these mean.
Sorry. And then, but on the actual set, what it really boils down to is the director interacting with the actors to try and get what they want from them to make the vision come to life.
Right.
And still answering a ton of questions. People will constantly be coming up to the director with a question or a problem, hopefully with a solution, and they just want the director to say like, yes you can do that, yes you can do that, no do that. So it's they are very similar roles. It can be hard to separate them sometimes, especially if like, you know, for example in this case Laura directed and she produced and she wrote, so like it's one role and it's kind of hard to be like where was the distinction between these different.
And especially like in a production of like the scale that we were doing, because obviously like if you were making like a big budget like Hollywood movie or something, like it would be a very different roles and like they would each have their own distinctions and stuff. But for us, like since it was literally like a student production of a 6-minute documentary with 4 people involved, like you know, it's a lot. The roles blend into each other a lot more.
Like one like kind of an example of just like how much those roles blend and how much they're separated in the like actual like film industry is for a student film. It doesn't matter what your role is. You could be the makeup, you could be the writer, you could be the director. If you're on set, heck, even if you're an actor, unless you're like an actor that's been brought outside, a lot of time we use classmates as actors. You're probably helping carry equipment, set up equipment, like do that kind of stuff. But in the real world, if you're not a grip, you are not touching a light stand.
Nah, never.
You know, or like, you know, you're not touching something, even if somebody directly asks you to, unless it's your boss or, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's obviously going to be exceptions because a classic quote is that safety is everybody's responsibility on set. So even if you're not in charge of like electrical, you know, you're not a gaffer, you're not looking at the lights, but you see a safety concern with that, you know, your job would be to tell somebody. But if it's an immediate concern, like you can interact with it as much as is safe. You know what I mean? To make that stop. You know, and you know the classic thing is that nobody other than the director yells cut, action, or cut, or stops a scene. But like, if it's a safety concern, in theory, anybody can stop a scene. For a safety concern. Now, you got to be careful because if you do and you do it the wrong way, or you do it when you shouldn't have, like it wasn't actually a legit safety concern, you might not be there for much longer.
Yeah.
But like it's a big old mix of stuff. So, but
It's
in the actual film world,
it's
the
literally a
lines are-
machine, dude.
yeah,
It's actually
it
a
is.
machine. I literally, like I wouldn't, on something like what we did here, I wouldn't be like waking up and doing work for the documentary and being like, this is producing work or like this is directing work. Like I would just get up and work on the doc every day. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. I had like a moment while you were talking there where I like,
While I was rambling.
that's fine. You honestly, you had better answers to the questions than I could. So, but no, I had a moment there while you were talking where I was like, wow, like I'm really in film school, huh? Like I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm just like almost like playing house, you know? Like I feel like I'm like a kid playing house and like pretending to be like a mother and like pretending to cook food. But like then I like step back and I'm like, wow, like I'm actually like trying to do this for life, you know? Did that make sense? That metaphor was weird.
Yeah, no, I get you. I see Jimmy's comment about if it felt like he was applying for a job with those forms.
Yeah.
And in some ways it really actually is. To legally be able to use what you give us. We basically
Yeah,
need all
that's true.
short of your social insurance number. We need all the same information.
Yeah, I wasn't
in
really like
Clairwood.
I wasn't intentionally trying to farm everybody's real names for those that I didn't already know, but I got them. I guess with a team of 4, rules really do be fluid. People doing a bit of everything, unlike a Hollywood production of thousands where everyone does one specific thing. Exactly, Wings. Exactly.
Yeah, and that's really nice in student productions because you're always busy.
Yeah, you can get your hands on a lot more.
Yeah, and when
Gotcha.
when you go to set, you are pretty much always doing something.
Yeah.
There will be moments where you are not, but in the real world, there's the expression "hurry up and wait."
Mhm.
Because for example, you could be the effects guy or like I don't know, like special effects, like on set special effects, and you're gonna do like a charge, right?
Yeah.
And they'll want you there at like 5 a.m. and then maybe at like, and you'll show up with your stuff and you'll kind of get ready. And then maybe at like 2 p.m. they'll be like, hey, your scene's coming up soon, like get your stuff ready. And then you'll go out and you'll talk with like the director and the safety manager and like
Yeah.
coordinator and all that, and you'll be like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, this is what's gonna happen. And then you'll like put it out there, and then you'll probably still have to wait for them to like light it and get everything finished setting up. And then there'll be like all right, this is what's happening, here's the safety briefing, everybody, all right, let's go. And then they do it and it's over in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you still have to wait till like 5 more hours till the day's done before it's safe for you to leave.
Yeah.
But you'll spend 90% of your day just kind of like sitting there waiting for your time to work. And then when it's time for you to work, it's like go like as fast as you can, get it done.
Bye, Coggins. See you later. Thanks for asking
Coggins.
all of your questions and hanging out. I'll talk to you soon. And yeah, another good example too, even of like what you just said, Wings, is like, for me, like I can speak to this, like being someone who's an editing major. Like I have been the editor on almost every project that I've ever done, like across my cinematography classes, even in like TV class, like whatever. I am always trying to edit. Like that's all I really do. But I'm on set all the time. Like I've also been, despite being the editor, I've been on pretty much every set. And in the real world, you would probably almost never have, if you were making like a bigger film, you would never have the editor on set and in fact, I think they even encourage the editors not to be on set for most bigger projects like that, because it gives you like it's almost like it gives you a preconceived notion or like a bias toward what you're editing, because if you are on set and you see things happen, I don't know if this like would make sense, but to like, explain, but if you're on set and you see certain things happening, or that like everybody on the set liked a certain take of it better, that might influence how you go into editing it. So like in the real world, an editor would never be on a set, but and that's where part of my dilemma comes with going into editing, because I love editing so much and it's definitely my favorite part of the process to actually do, but I also love being on sets because I just love like the vibe of it and it's a lot of fun. So I'm like, I hope I'm just never on a set again. Like
the most often an editor might be on set is like if they're invited to set.
Yeah.
Because that'll happen a lot as a courtesy. People that are working on a thing that aren't like directly related to being on set will get invited to set.
Anyways, yeah.
And even then, like it's almost like the expectation is that the editor is going to say no. I mean, if they say yes, they're still going to let them come. They're not going to be like, you were supposed to say no. That was only being polite.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure some editors like to go to set,
Yeah, for whatever
there's
reason.
got to be some out there.
Yes, Matt, it is Vancouver.
And also with the turnaround time on some films these days, the editor will be on set because they're editing. They won't necessarily be sitting where the cameras and the crew and stuff is, but they will be at the location, on the lot, probably on a trailer.
Yeah.
And footage is being brought to them, and they are like ingesting it and like probably wherever the DIT is, which is the digital
imaging technician.
Thank you, Laura.
Gotcha.
It probably in that case it might be more of an assistant editor.
Yeah.
Because they would be assistant editors are the ones that have to like go through all the footage, log it,
do all the boring work, but
sync it up with the audio.
Low key assistant editor, kind of fun though.
Yeah. Especially if you want to work overnight.
Yeah, overnight shifts. Let's go. Yeah. Anyways,
are there any further questions?
Is that all the questions from our list? That was good.
We have been rambling.
We were really rambling for a long time. Jimmy, what's the question? If anybody has any more questions, feel free. I'll answer Wings' first since it's there. All in all, are you happy with how it went? Yes. This guy. No, Wings. I am really, really happy with how it went. And it's a relief to be able to say that. Like I said, after there was so much time that I spent not feeling like I was going to be happy with how it went. It's really, really nice to, because the worst part, I think, of the entire thing would have been if, I came out of all of this and did like 4 months of work on it and then didn't feel happy with it or didn't want to show it to anyone or like felt like it was all for naught, I guess. So it's really nice, to be able to come out of it and say that I'm happy with how it went. And yeah, I'm very glad. What about you, Timothy?
I am happy with how it turned out in the end. Because as I said, there was times earlier on when I was like, this isn't happening.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way this is going to be good,
Yeah.
And also another fact about this whole project is Laura I was talking to Laura when she was coming up with the idea and wanted to pitch it. And I was encouraging her to do so. And one of her things is she's like, I've never directed anything before. I've never written anything before. And I was already committed to the other project that I ended up working on under the assumption it would get greenlit. If it didn't get greenlit, I'd have to find a new project.
Yeah.
And we're allowed to take multiple roles, but you're discouraged from taking too many. The course requirement is normally 2.
Yeah.
To be on 2 separate projects and 2 roles, a main role and like an assistant role kind of deal. But this year they kind of got rid of that. So you could just do 1 role on 1 project if that's all you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But on the other project, I already knew I was going to have 3 roles technically. Like I think of it as 1 role because they overlapped so much, but I was co-producer, co-director, co-writer, which, so technically I had 3 roles. So I just kind of offered to Laura, I was like, I will help you with the writing. Like I'll help you figure out the story and write it. And give you like feedback on.
And then you ended up doing a lot more than that.
Yeah, and then like literally our first meeting for the project, Laura's like, yeah, so and so is supposed to help me produce it, but they were committed to too many projects.
Yeah,
the teachers told them like they couldn't do that, like they had to get rid of some, and ours is one that they left, so they're no longer producing it. And she was like, so I'm gonna have to try and find someone else to help me produce it. She had somebody in mind who she thought she might ask. And then, she just told us that and we were like, okay. And then as she said that, I was sitting there thinking in my mind, I was like, should I offer to help her do this? We work together well.
Yeah.
I know the story she wants to tell. I don't like producing. I actually kind of like it now. Like now that I've done it for the semester, it's not so bad. I definitely wouldn't want to produce something alone. Like having somebody else to be able to like share the load is good.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there and I was like, do I want to do it? And I was like, Laura needs help. I'm the one who kind of like pressured her into doing this.
Yeah.
So after the call was over, the other guys were leaving and I just like didn't hang up yet. And then I was like, wait, Laura. And she was like, yes. And I was like, do you want me to help you produce? And she was like, yes.
Yeah, I've said this before, but this project like would not have happened without Timothy. Like literally, he can give me as much credit as he wants for like whatever, and he has, and he probably will continue to do so. But like this, if it hadn't been for Timothy helping on this project, I wouldn't have finished it. I would have, and I say that like not to, you know, be like dramatic or whatever, like I would have given it up and joined another team and like done another film, because without someone like to help me keep track of everything and like keep me on track, and you know, even just like the amount of moral support you gave me when I was like upset about it all the time, like yeah, it wouldn't have happened without having you on board.
Fun fact, the 2 docs I was on are 2 of the only docs that have their credits done correctly.
Woo! And it was because of you.
Because I read through the requirements of what we were supposed to do and like busted out.
Matt,
no, Laura, I'm just gonna
go for it
for a minute. I appreciate you saying that, but I have to say I was honored to be a part of it. And no, I don't make fun of it.
No, I know, I'm kidding.
And I was honored to be a part of it and help you tell your story. And I am incredibly proud of what you accomplished, especially given where you were. Because, you know, you had the idea and you didn't even really want to do it. And then you got excited about it and they greenlit it. And then you were like, I don't know if I should do this or not. And then you did. And then from that moment on, you regretted it for like 2.5 months.
Yep.
Until it was finally coming together. And the fact that despite that experience of like not being confident in it, not being sure of it, losing sleep over it, stressing over it, and just having an overall difficult time with it, you powered through and you pursued, and now you have a product that you can be proud of.
Thanks, Timothy.
I hate using the word product, but you have a you know, an outcome that you can be proud of.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of you for that, because I know you've never written anything before. I know you've never produced anything before.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, you're being vulnerable with your story. It is a
True.
story about you.
True.
So it's a lot to take on, and I'm proud of you, and I was proud to be a part of it.
Thanks. Aww. Hi, Gooseman, by the way. Matt, when you say failed shot, do you mean like failed like physical like shot we took with the camera, or like just something in general that failed about it? Are those tears? No. My eyes are dry, homies.
Jimmy also asked his question.
Yeah, I saw that. Now that you can say that you've made a documentary, hi Fluid. Now that you can say you've made a documentary, do you think you'll ever make another, whether or not it's for a grade? Well, I'll go first, I guess. Yeah, I actually think I would, which is also something that's really surprising to me to say, because there was a lot of points throughout this whole thing that I was literally like, Gooseman.
Gooseman.
Thanks for gifting to Crossfade. Thank you, Goose. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. And gifting to Crossfade. Good gift. I hope you're doing well. But yeah, so, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So I think, yeah, there was lots of points in this that I was literally like, I'm never doing this again. Like, this was a great learning experience, but like, I'm done. I'm never pursuing something like that again. But honestly, I really think that I would, especially, seeing how, you know, it went from, like Timothy was describing, like that low point where I hated it and didn't want to work on it anymore. And it was like, you know, a struggle. And then reaching that point in the end where I was really happy about it and excited about it. I think if anything, like that taught me a lot of just like resilience for working on projects, and like the fact that, you know, because like I said, it's not a new feeling for me to be, you know, feeling down on myself about my work, but the fact that like if you do push through that, then you can make it, I guess, to put it kind of lamely. But yeah, I think it is something. And honestly, like I learned a lot from doing this, like a lot about myself and a lot about like the way that I work. I don't know if I would necessarily take on like directing a project or writing a project on my own, but I definitely wouldn't shy away from like trying to, you know, come up with an idea and get it made again, like whatever that looked like. Timothy, you don't really like documentaries, so.
Well, you know what? I don't really like documentaries as far as like making them goes. I love to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
I am not in any way, shape, or form envious of the amount of time and work that is to go into them. That being said, I would make a short documentary again.
Yeah.
Especially if it was just on my own and I didn't have like the restrictions of like the time limit that the school is giving us.
Yeah.
And I mean that both for runtime and production time.
Mm-hmm.
because there are definitely little stories that I think would be neat to tell.
Yeah.
And that would fit into that format. So I'm not opposed to it anymore as much as I was. One thing I was texting Laura about this at the beginning of the semester, like the reason I ended up on the other doc is I had no ideas. I'm supposed to be some kind of writer director, and I'm like, I have no idea what to pitch for a documentary.
Hey, you put that on yourself.
No, it's true. But I was just like, I don't care enough about documentaries, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I was struggling with that, and I just mentioned it to one of like in my class because our teacher asked us if we had ideas or like how those were coming along. And I just worked with the guy who had the twin story on another project, and it was the first time we ever worked together. And he just was like, "Hey, do you want to help me like pitch mine? Because like his is a really personal story, and he wanted like basically an extra set of eyes on it to because since it's so personal to him, he's so close to it, he doesn't know what parts are actually interesting to other people.
Kind of like me.
Exactly.
So Matt, the other doc that Timothy's talking about is the other doc he talked about that he worked on earlier. That was about the guy who had the criminal with the same name as him. He mentioned it earlier.
It was called My Evil Twin and Me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I ended up on that one, because I just didn't have an idea of my own, and since we were allowed to work in partners, I joined him on the pitch, and then it got greenlit, and it was kind of like, do you want to help make it? And I was like, yeah, it'd be kind of weird for me to just walk away now.
Yeah.
There were times, there were moments during the semester where I was like, I should have walked away. Like, I felt the same way about Laura's too, though. Like, just to be fully honest.
The truth comes out.
But you have those moments in any product.
Oh yeah, of course.
Production. I don't know why I keep saying the word product. I got added value and business terms are stuck in my head. But I say all that to say that when we were finally watching the documentaries in class, I was like, man, I have so many ideas now.
Yeah.
Like watching other people's stories that they told and such. And I was like, oh man, like I actually have ideas for what I could have pitched for.
Yeah. I even have some more ideas now, which is funny because, like, the reason that I pitched, if we're going to talk about, like, the origins of the pitches, kind of, the reason that I pitched this whole idea about, like, streaming and, like, what my experience of the pandemic was and stuff was literally because, like, I was trying to come up with a pitch, and unlike Timothy, I didn't have another person in my class that was offering to let me just, like, jump on their pitch and, like, pitch it with them, and everybody had to pitch something for the grade. And so I was like trying to come up with something, and my plan for this semester was not to fucking direct and write and produce my own film about me. Not in the slightest. Like my original first goal was to just edit someone else's project. I actually was supposed to be the editor of Timothy's other doc that he did, but then I ended up not doing that one because I was working on my own instead. And so, I was just trying to think about like what to pitch and what to do, and like this, like Twitch and all the friends I made and whatever was one of the only things that I felt inspired by, like as of late anyways, which is why I ended up pitching it. But yeah, like definitely since seeing the other docs, I'm starting to think about like some other things that would potentially be like cool ideas. So yeah, I think I would probably make I'd probably make something else similar in the future. Why not? Yeah. Also, Matt, to kind of like answer your question a little bit, I don't know if I can really say, like, to be honest, in the final version of the documentary, anything that we failed at was taken out. I have literally, like, the folder that I have on my Google Drive, the folder that I have on my Google Drive of, like, all of the footage and, like, the backups and everything of, like, all of my work is literally, like, almost 200 gigabytes. Like, I bought extra Google Drive space, and it's almost full with, like, just backing up everything that I have from this doc. So, like, there's lots of stuff that, failed, I guess, but a lot of the stuff that failed just is something that you cut out in editing or you don't pursue. So, yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question a whole lot, but anything that failed, we kind of just moved on from. Yeah, it is a lot.
For many failures.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, do you have much of an idea about what sort of music you wanted to use? Ooh, that's a really good question, actually, Matt. So all the music that I used in this, I found it from a website where they just have like royalty-free, like copyright-free music, essentially. Initially, I was going to ask a friend of mine who studies music to write like an original score for it, but then that fell through and it didn't end up happening. So I went the route of finding copyright-free music, which we're all familiar with being on Twitch and everybody loves. But yeah, I think the music that we came out with actually worked out really well. The final song in particular, like the final music that's used when, you know, it gets into like me talking about how, like when it gets like happier vibes, you know, when it's like, you know, Wings is there and all my friends are there and streaming saved me, yay. That music I think worked so perfectly, and I was shocked when I first dragged that sound. Like when I first dragged that music file into it, I pretty much didn't even touch it after that. Like I dragged it under what was already there, and I pretty much didn't need to tweak it, didn't need to do anything because it just fits so well. As for the other music, at the beginning and the middle of it, it was kind of like, I actually, the music that was in the middle of it, I put it in as like a temporary music track to use while I was editing the first few cuts to like get like a feel for it. And I didn't think I was going to keep it because I didn't like it, but then I ended up leaving it in and it worked out fine. But yeah, I kind of just wanted something that would like capture, I think the fear with using like copyright free or royalty free music, especially in films, is that like you don't want any of that like ukulele vlogger music, you know what I mean? And obviously that wouldn't have fit the vibe of this anyways, so I would never have gone for something like that. But a lot of the time using like, there's a reason, let's put it this way, there's a reason that when you make like big budget films, you have an entire team of people or a composer to write an original score, because you want something that's going to exactly fit the vibe of what you're doing and not detract from it and not, you know, whatever. But I think, yeah, the music that we used in the end ended up working out fine, and it was just, you know, free to use, and it was good.
That actually touches on a really good point that we ran into a lot. Is, and I know you sort of talked about it on stream, but like a lot of the clips that we wanted to use had music in them.
Yeah.
And not even just the fact that they had the clips had music in them. Even like clips showing the game footage was a question mark, right? Like that shot that showed Shrekkers had like at least a half-hour conversation, if not longer, surrounding whether or not we could show Shrek in that context of like a dumb game, you know. The reason you see her playing Overcooked is because Overcooked has a warning at the beginning saying you can basically do whatever you want with the footage.
Yeah, and like the Shrek thing, who knows? If I end up submitting this film to any festivals or doing anything with it, like on a grander scale, I might have to get rid of that Shrekkers clip and replace it with something else. I don't know. Like if that becomes an issue later, we opted to leave it in for this time around because we were like, it'll probably be fine at the very least for this version. But there might be things I have to fix. And that's why, if anyone remembers, when the idea first got greenlit, I did a few streams where I played no music. With the intention that if I wanted to pull anything to use, then I could probably pull it from those few streams. Anything that had music under it, obviously. Like one thing, to be honest with you, when I first got the feedback of like, you need to have something that, you know, shows like your friendship with people online and stuff. And this was before I had like Wings on board with it. One of my first things that I thought of was to use clips of me, Calypso, and Bobby from the 1 year stream when they were like making fun of me in VC and we were all just like having laughs. That was like one of the first like memories that came to mind that I was like, oh, like maybe I could use that. But the problem was I was playing Minecraft during that. So if anything, all we would have been able to use would have been the audio, which wasn't really too useful. The Pilot's Lounge thing actually worked out 100% perfect for what we needed it for, because like it was, you know, it was just the two of us and it was Wings gave me permission to use it.
It did have a bit of music under it that had to be kind of like pulled back. But, but even stuff like, you know, there's the clip of Laura playing puzzles with chat. We had to like research the licensing for that photo to make sure that we could include that photo.
Yeah, and if you look in the credits, the licensing for the cat photo is there from the puzzle. And I was actually doing those few streams right after the pitch got greenlit, and I decided I was going to do it without the music. Actually ended up being the only reason that montage of me saying hi to everyone at the end worked, because every single clip of me saying hi, all I did was go through the just chatting sections of those streams where I had no music, and any clip, I don't know if anybody lurks the clips on my channel, but like there was a day where I just had a bunch of numbered clips. It was like 1 to like 12, just numbered clips. And that was all me just like taking clips of me saying hi to people in streams so I could download them and import them into Premiere and use them. And so like all the clips of me, like it was great. I was like, thank God so many people came in that I said hi to during that time where I had no music playing, no games, nothing. Cause like Timothy said, it ended up being your favorite part of the whole thing, and
Yeah.
like I think it added a whole lot. So
Yeah. Another aspect about that being my favorite part, also, just to jump way back to one of the questions about like how much things change. That wasn't even originally the ending.
no, it wasn't.
That happened in the middle of the documentary at one point.
And that montage of everyone, me saying hi to everyone, actually wasn't even originally. If you look through the paper edit and the original
it's not
plans,
in
it
there.
wasn't even there. I added that in on the rough cut just because I was like, this might be something kind of cool, and like it was just sort of like a vision that I had, and I did it. And then I didn't even know if I was gonna end up leaving it in, and Timothy was like really pushed for it and was like, no, like that's good, you should leave it. And when Timothy originally suggested maybe putting it at the end, I was like, I don't know if I like that idea, but then I put it at the end, and sure enough, I think it was perfect there, and I loved it there. So
I feel like the first time I saw that, like a cut of the doc with that at the end, was the first time I felt like teary-eyed watching the doc.
Aw.
Like, you know, it gets me every time still, even though I know it's coming. But like putting it at the end was just like perfect.
Yeah, I think it worked really well.
You know, and it wouldn't, you know, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back because I was the one who said let's try it at the end, because like I would never have suggested to put it at the end if you hadn't even done it to begin with and put it in the middle, right? Like it's there's that, you know, backfall. And I can't even remember the reason we were talking about like putting it at the end, because we just felt like it kind of like flowed weird and the pacing was weird.
Yeah.
So the idea was maybe to just completely get rid of it. And I was just like, well, what if we put it at the end?
Yeah.
Like what if this is how we end it?
It worked
Because
well.
what we were originally gonna do is the doc opens with the montage of like Laura hanging out with her friends before COVID.
Yeah.
And originally it was just gonna end with a streaming montage of just clips of her moments from stream.
Kind of similar to the compilations I've already made, to be honest.
So that it would kind of mirror in those ways.
Yeah.
But doing that was better, not only from a logistics standpoint of like not having to worry about game footage and copyrighted music and whatnot, but like it gives the actual emotional weight of you did connect with people.
Oh yeah, of course.
So
no, I think ultimately, like, you know, it was a cool idea to have had like clips and stuff from the stream in there, but like I was looking through, I had a folder saved of all of the clips that I used in the 1 year anniversary video, and also a bunch of other clips in there that I saved with intention to use them in the 1 year anniversary video that didn't make it in because I didn't want them or I didn't have enough time or whatever. And so I looked through every single one of those clips that I had saved for the 1 year video, and only 2 of them were usable for the doc because every single one had either copyrighted music or gameplay footage. And even in cases where there was like non-copyrighted music playing, that still gets sticky anyways because you have to have the credit for it somewhere. And if you can't figure out where that non-copyrighted music came from, like if I had a clip that had like chill lo-fi beats on in the background and I didn't know how to properly credit whatever remix it was or whatever it was, like you can't use it. So it's a lot. That part of it was tough.
Yeah, and that's the producing
aspect. Yeah. Also, thanks Varsha. Varshmello in chat, by the way, in case anyone was curious, is another film student from our year and a friend of ours, and also a previous co-RA with me. And she also directed a doc this semester, which was fan-frickin-tastic. I loved it.
It was good.
It was amazing.
It made me want to live on a boat.
Yeah, it made me want to live on a boat. It was great. So congratulations on that too, Varsha. It was sick.
Also, just rolling back in the chat, what was Varsha saying 200 about?
200, when I said I had almost 200 gigabytes, like my backup folder for the doc.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was a time.
It was a time. I'm honestly though, like, I think that this stream was a really, really nice way to like close this chapter. And I'm, as much as it was great, I'm excited to I'm not excited to not watch it again for like a long time and not think about it again, and not, because honestly, like you guys don't even know, like I can't even describe the way that this felt like a cloud hanging over my head a lot of days. Like I would wake up and the first thing I would immediately think about would be like, God, like what do I have to get done for the doc today? And like, you know, whatever. And it was something that genuinely like weighed on me a whole lot, like for months. It weighed on me so much, especially when I felt like it wasn't going well. So I feel like it's almost going to take a while for me to stop waking up and immediately being like, what's the doc today? Like, oh my God. Like
waking up on Tuesday morning, like our final submission for this one in on technically I guess it was Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
it was Monday. Anyways,
yeah.
It went in, and then I had like class and all this stuff all day, and finished my final assignment. So waking up on Tuesday morning and sitting there being like I still had to go to class and stuff, but I was like, I have nothing to do.
Yep.
Like it was so weird. Such like you're going at like 110% for weeks, and then all of a sudden it's like boom, okay, everything's done.
Everything's done. Yeah, I've been feeling that way a lot the last couple days because it's like now that school's done, and especially like I mean I have work tomorrow and the next day, so I have to get up at like 6:30 a.m. tomorrow to work, but so I'm gonna have a busy weekend, and then obviously I'm gonna be packing and stuff to going home, feels dank, man. But even like yesterday, I got up and I literally just binged Netflix all afternoon. And I really took yesterday. Today I was doing a lot of work getting ready for this stream, and like, you know, I was obviously nervous and like dealing with stuff for this. But yesterday I literally just took an entire day and all I did was like sit and binge Netflix on my couch, and I was like, I don't remember the last time that I woke up and didn't have a single thing to do, and it felt so good. Like,
you know what it's like? It's like when you're on a trampoline for a while and then you get off.
In what way?
Well, you know that like physical feeling, like when you're bouncing on the trampoline.
Yeah.
And then you get off, and it's like you're back to normal, but it feels weird.
Yeah, or like when you get off a boat and like you can feel like your inner ear is like messed up. That happens to me. Yeah. So Jimmy, interesting question you asked. There's been a lot of changes. So theoretically, I won't get too far into this because I know neither of us want to talk about it, but
it's all that's been talked about for like 2 weeks now.
So theoretically, what would happen next semester is we would go through this whole exact same tell me about the changes or whatever. So there is actually, Jimmy, I talked about
the view count has already been dropping the longer we talk.
I've already
it's gonna go way down.
I already talked about it yesterday in stream, so I'll link you the part of the VOD where, because I fully explained the changes and everything yesterday, Jimmy. But basically, like, yeah, what would normally happen next semester would be we would go through this whole exact same process again. You were there for that. Oh, well then you already know. And we would go through the exact same process again that we did this semester, but with narrative films or like fiction films instead. And we would I'm asking plot wise. No. So next semester, my plan is literally to just jump on someone else's pitch. And next semester, I'm going to do what I set out to do this semester, which is literally just to edit someone else's stuff. Because I think as much as this was fun and I learned a lot and I'm very proud of what we came out with, I am not ready to do it again in 4 weeks time. I'm really not. Like, I need a minute to like just do what I feel more comfortable with and like be in the space where I want to be and just sit and edit, and that's all. Because yeah, this was a lot for me. Yeah.
One thing that I've been thinking about when it comes to next semester is, so as Laura mentioned, there's been a lot of changes, and I won't get into the nitty gritty of that because even those changes aren't finalized. They're fluid. At the beginning of the course one semester when we made these docs, there was also a lot of changes and a lot of pushback. People weren't happy. And we made 46 amazing documentaries as a class. And everyone's like pretty happy with how they turned out in spite of those changes and not being happy at the beginning. So I am trying to keep that in mind as I look at the changes and what the future holds for our winter semester in narrative, because it
120, yeah, Jimmy.
So I'm just, I'm like, there's hope that it won't be as bad as we feel like it's going to be right now. We'll see, because narrative's a whole different beast.
I'm just ready to coast along and yeah, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm not taking any risks next semester.
Somebody clip that and send it to our Core 2 profs, please. I'm ready to coast along.
Yeah. I'm ready to do nothing. No, I'm ready to work hard on someone else's idea is basically where I'm at for next semester. I'm ready to put all of the passion and like excitement that I had for my own project this semester into something that somebody else conceptualizes and comes up with, and do what I am comfortable with, the role that I'm most comfortable with. Because this was a lot. Yeah. Anyways, if no one else has any more questions, exactly, Wings, exactly.
46 films out of a class of 120 is really impressive. I don't know why they did that.
To this day, we don't know why they greenlit so many, because like I said, in previous years they usually greenlight about 20 to 30 films, and this year they greenlit 50.
Well, so, I think there was an expectation, I think, that groups would be like 2 to 3 people.
Yeah, because of the pandemic and stuff.
But we still ended up having groups of, like there were groups that had like 11 people in them. Like our group for Alone Together was quite small.
Yeah,
things
we did
considered.
that. Yeah.
You know, like yes, we had two other people, but I know Curtis for sure was like working on another doc, which was kind of his main role, and helping us. It was just kind of like a side thing. I think that was the same for Charles. I think he had another role. So like, as far as the like bulk of like the creative work, you know, it was down to two of us in a way. Not to say they didn't contribute, because they contributed invaluably, but you know.
Matt, do you mean like if it was a normal year? Like, because the groups are formed after the green lighting process is done and we know like which films are approved. But yeah, like the crazy thing about that is like, who knows? Like if this was a normal year, like who knows what would have gotten greenlit or what would have happened. But ultimately, like it wasn't a normal year. It was a COVID year. So
yeah, because the stories would have been completely different.
Oh yeah,
everyone had to match their story up to something that could be done.
Yeah.
I don't know, pandemic documentaries we watched on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah, I mean,
not to say they were bad because of it. It's just, you know,
I take any opportunity I can get to like talk about the butterfly effect and try to just like trip everyone out. But like, if it hadn't been for COVID, this wouldn't have existed, because if it hadn't been for COVID, I would have stayed here all summer last summer. I would have been working full-time days at this residence. I wouldn't have done my night shifts. I wouldn't have gotten more involved in Twitch communities. I wouldn't have made any of the friends that I met over the summer, wouldn't have met any of the people that I did, and this idea quite literally never would have happened, because it was all about how I coped during the pandemic. And I say that like the pandemic's fucking over. It's literally the worst it's ever been. But, you know, so everything happens for a reason. One thing leads to another, and yeah, so who knows? We'll never know whether or not this would have gotten greenlit or would have happened in a regular year. But like, I mean, just from that, I would say no, it wouldn't have happened in a normal year, because I wouldn't even have had that idea if it hadn't been for all of this happening. So thanks COVID, I guess, maybe a little bit, like not a lot, because you still suck, but like thanks COVID for giving me like something to do. Yeah. Cool. I think we're out of questions, but honestly, this is a lot more questions than I expected to get. So thanks everybody who has stuck around to listen to us just sit and ramble on about film for a couple hours.
I appreciate you having me on as a guest, Laura, and I appreciate everyone's wonderful questions and interest. And I hope that you all liked the documentary.
Anytime. Honestly,
I've got one last question.
Yeah, I see that. Timothy, you were on stream all the time last year when you were here in person, and we were actually together. So, you know, it's been a while since you've actually been on.
I know. And it's a different capacity.
Yeah. Timothy, you guys make fun of my like Canadian accent and stuff. Timothy has actually a real Canadian accent. Well, not like as thick as like some other people's, but like since I met Timothy, I've been making fun of the way he says words. You guys always make fun of how I say words with the or sound, like sorry, tomorrow, like other words like that.
I have the hard R.
He has the hard R. Every time I make fun of Timothy's voice, I'm always like, oh, you know, like
oh, you know, get in the car and go to the bar. It's
exactly like that.
Too far to walk.
Yeah, the R sound is really big for the Maritimers. My favorite emote, Matt, is I don't have one. I have too many. I couldn't pick one. But yeah, thanks everyone for your questions. Timothy, thanks for being here and for being way more five-head about film than me. You answered a lot of those questions.
Well, the longer I talked, the more the numbers dropped. So
that's
I don't know
fine.
if you should be thanking me.
Oh, that's fine. Honestly, it's crazy the fact that so many, like, I figured that not everyone would stay or like care for like this part of it, like of us talking about it and stuff. I appreciate everybody who has stuck around, whether you're lurking or like asking questions or whatever. I appreciate it a lot, but ultimately, like, yeah, the fact that so many people came out for the initial doc itself was, it was more people than I expected. So,
and I do want to say, I don't mean to say that as implying I'm not appreciative of the people who stuck around for a conversation. Like, I'm glad the people that stuck around chose to stick around. You know, I wouldn't want all 40 people that were here earlier to stick around and not actually care.
Yeah.
I'm just making a joke at me being boring and long-winded.
You are boring and long-winded.
I am.
Thank you, dude, for making such a great doc. That means a lot to everyone on this platform. Thank you, Wings, for saying that. And Wings, thank you for being a part of it. I appreciate you letting me use clips from your stream, and you know, this is my one last wholesome thing, and then I'll probably wrap things up here. But Wings, your enthusiasm in particular about this whole thing has meant so much to me. And you know, even the fact that like, you know, you'll bring it up in your stream and you were trying to encourage a lot of your community to come over and like support it. And all the nice things that you said about it, both like, talking to you one-on-one and interacting with you in streams and stuff. It really meant a lot to me to have someone that was like so hyped about it. I mean, a lot of people were really excited about it, but you in particular, Wings, you were very always expressing your excitement for it. And like I said earlier, the fact that people were excited about it made it a lot easier to work on when it was hard. So,
and thank you for your willingness to fill out all that paperwork.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the time. You too, Jimmy. Yeah. Thanks. All right. Well, I'll let you go, I guess, Timothy. I'll probably sit and talk for a couple more minutes and then I'll head out.
I mean, I'll just sit and chat, but yeah, that's fine.
Cool. Well, thanks,
right.
Timothy.
Thanks again. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
I ended the Zoom meeting. I did it. It happened. Wow. That actually, you know what? That conversation went on a lot longer than I thought it would. And I really didn't think, like, I kind of debated doing this part of it where, like, Timothy and I would sit and talk about it because I wasn't sure if people would have any questions or really care. I'm always worried. I don't know if, like, anybody else who streams has this feel, but, like, I'm always worried that, I think people care about stuff that I'm doing more than I actually do. And ultimately it doesn't matter because everybody has the free will to like sit and watch or not watch. Like if people aren't interested in what you're doing, they can just leave. So it really shouldn't even be a worry. But I'm always worried that like I'm making a bigger deal out of things than is necessary. I miss you too, Matt. There's some fine print in there siding over Wings' future. Yeah, true. Wings, get debated. If you didn't read the fine print on the form, you actually agreed to hand me over your channel at the end of this whole process. So you should be DMing me your password after. I'm just kidding. Phone streaming, 0 people will join. Honestly, though, Wings, those vibes are fun. I hope that tonight I can actually come in. I can't stay up too late tonight because, like I said, I have to be up at 6:30 in the morning for work. But hopefully I'll be able to at least come in and say hi for a few minutes. At least you have a PC. Yeah, fucking true. Yeah, anyways, go to sleep. I'll go to sleep soon. I'm probably gonna chill. I might go walk across the street and get some more ice cream, like I did that one time, and just go sit on my couch and watch This Is Us and eat ice cream and reminisce about this entire experience. But yeah, I don't think I'm really going to raid anybody, to be honest. I think I'll probably just leave stream where it is. Wherever anybody wants to go after, you can go there. Because I'm probably not going to really be on Twitch for the rest of the night, to be honest. So I don't want to, Also, like I said, I want to just let this be what it was, and give the doc kind of its little moment to shine. Anybody who wants the doc to see it, if you missed it either at the beginning of stream or if you want to just watch it again for like whatever reason, let me know and I can shoot you a DM with the link on YouTube. I'll have to put the link to the version from stream on YouTube because I don't have like the version that's on YouTube unlisted right now is the version we submitted for school, which has like some doxing things and stuff. So I'll have to fix that up, and then yeah, anybody who wants the link, I can get that to you like probably tomorrow or something, or maybe even later tonight, depending on if I get it up tonight. And the doc might end up just being public on my YouTube channel soon. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But yeah, thanks everybody once again, from the bottom of my heart. It was really cool to hear that stuff. Thanks, Timothy. Timothy, yeah, you're a fucking vibe head. Honestly, I learned things about film that I didn't know just from sitting and listening to Timothy talk. So, yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Timothy. It was great to have you on. And I hope that in the new year, if COVID starts to get better and, the vaccines start getting rolled out, maybe you can actually come and be a guest on stream in person again, like you were. Because for anybody who's only known me for like the last few months, back at the beginning of 2020, Timothy was on stream literally all the time. It was a regular occurrence. Timothy was on most of the 24-hour stream. The parts he was awake, he was here. So seems odd that there's all these versions of it. You'll have to mark which one you think is the real version, literally. I have so many. Dude, if you want to actually see something interesting, this is a little bit more like behind the scenes for the people who stuck it out till the end. If you want to see how many different cuts of it that I had, I forgot I didn't have my, oh no, wrong screen. I forgot I didn't have my mic on that screen. My bad. But those were all the different cuts that we had. Yeah, the differences in the final cuts aren't really that big, but all the rough cuts, Timothy didn't get food poisoning. That was someone else. But yeah, and those were all different variations that we showed, like we then brought back to our prof and showed him and he gave us feedback, and then I went back into the edit and changed more things, and then we brought it back again, and then I made more changes. So yeah, it was the editing took as long as the rest of the whole process. Like just the editing and the post-production part of it took the same amount of time as like conceptualizing it, shooting it, pitching it, filming it. The editing took the same amount of time. And that's only the ones that exported. Very true. Good point. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be all for me. I'm going to get out of here and go like enjoy the rest of my night. And I encourage you all to do the same. Again, I know I've said it a lot of times, but thank you everyone. You want to edit the CCAs? Wings, literally, give me a call. I've been thinking about what you said about editing since you said it. So you might regret saying that to me while we were playing Fall Guys, because I've literally been thinking about it all the time. Literally hit me up. Like, I'm in. I'm so down, dude. I'm so down. But yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk in the future. But yeah, Wings is doing, I'm gonna get it right. Don't tell me what the acronym means. It means Chat Choice Awards. Matt already asked before I could even say it. It means Chat Choice Awards, right? Yeah, I got it. Finally. Only took like 5 or 6 tries to get it right. But yeah, you too, Jimmy. Thanks for being here. And yes, once again, just before I go, thank you everyone so much for supporting this, for your concern and your curiosity about how the process has been going for the last few months, for asking about it, for talking about it, for encouraging me through it. You know, I told this story because it means a lot to me, and because the friendships that I made on Twitch and this platform in general mean the fucking world to me. And I genuinely like don't know how I would have made it through this year and this whole COVID situation without Twitch and Discord and all the friends that I made. And
hello.
It's cool that, thanks for the follow, Grom. Whoa, real Grom. Thanks for the follow, Grom. Tricks, Manev, hi. What's going on? Welcome back, Manev. But yeah, where was I? All it takes is one alert and my mind is just right off track, dude. Hi, Grom. Good to see you. But, yeah, I'm really proud of this, and I'm proud that, you know, it was something that meant something to a lot of you, because it meant a lot to me. And I appreciate, you know, everybody caring, basically. Yeah, this was a cool experience. I would like to do something like this again. Ultimately, you know, it was cool because of the subject matter of this documentary and how it was related to streaming, that it was really relevant for me to show it on stream. If people would be interested in seeing more of my film work and more of my film projects in the future, that's something that I'd be open to like doing something like this again, because honestly it was a lot of fun. I think this time it felt especially important to show it on stream just because it was inspired by everybody that I met on this platform and stuff. Who's your favorite streamer? Not Menev. But yeah, I think that would be something that I'd be open to in the future, like if people wanted to see more more of my film work. But I don't think that I'll ever make anything again that will be as relevant, as important to show on stream as this was. So thanks for giving me the space, and thanks for giving me your time and your care. And yeah, I just love and appreciate you all. Sorry I didn't cry. You all got debated. I really didn't know if I was going to make it, but it was just too exciting. Excuse me, Mr. Owner, but could you be nice to Manev? Nice. Grom and Wings are about to have a fight in my chat if I don't end stream. Maybe I should get out of here. Maybe I'll cry on stream someday. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all. I'm gonna... Hang on. It's not too late to cry. It isn't too late to cry. I might go have a cry on it. I might go have a cry about it after stream. Sorry you didn't get to see. Hold on. I'm getting rid of... Yes, okay. There, cry about it later. Yeah, exactly. I'm a cry about it later kind of person. Crying off screen. If I cry, I'll take a selfie and put it in Discord. How's that? I'll be like one of those girls that post pictures of them crying on the internet. That's not really my style, but, you know, everyone demands it, so I guess I should. Not kidding. Yeah. Yeah. It feels weird to end this. It's like, it literally is like ending a chapter of my fucking life. You have no idea. Like... the amount of work that we've been putting into this every day for so long. And yeah, we can't have our Gartic contest today. Oh yeah, it's not going to be like community games. That's okay. I'm excited to say hi to Wings on the couch since I've missed it the last 2 nights. Tomorrow. Garlic. Timothy. Always calling it garlic. All right. That's all from me. What do you mean end this? I'm out of here, Tricks. This was a pretty short stream because, yeah, I just showed the doc. You can't today because it's Saturday. Man, I've confused me. Listen, I have a really hard time sometimes with, like, what day it is between the time difference and stuff. So I'm just, like, the fact that Man, I've got it wrong first, I wouldn't even have noticed. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to leave now. I don't really know how to leave this. I'm going to fade back over to the, like, to that thing, the thing that I started on. I'm going to fade back over to that. And that's going to be it from me. You're talking about ending stream, not streaming for now. Yeah. But yeah, everybody who has stuck around till the end, thank you very much for listening to Timothy and I ramble on and on about it. Who made that? Oh, this was made by Timothy. Sorry, I don't have my microphone on that screen, so I'll show it again and then I'll talk about it for a sec. So Timothy made that. Yeah, it was a really cool graphic. And it was cool to be able to use it on stream and use it on like the socials and stuff. Yeah, good work, Timothy, on that one. Pretty solid. Yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you again so much. I've said thank you a billion times, but I really can't say it enough to express how much I mean it. Put me back on, I'll talk about making it, literally. Yeah, thanks, guys. I love and appreciate you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your night. And I'll be back on tomorrow night. Sorry, I guess I should explain where we're going from here. I'll be back on tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Usual time, and I'm gonna be out on the couch, and it's gonna be my last stream. So say goodbye to this room, actually, because this is the last time you're gonna see this room until the middle of January. So anybody who stayed till the end of the stream, you get the benefit of being able to say goodbye to this room. But I'll be back. I'll be back here in the middle of January, so don't worry. It's not like I'm leaving forever. But yeah, tomorrow night, I'm doing my last stream. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. Yeah, so tomorrow night, will be my last stream at school. I'm going to be out on the couch. It's going to be a just chatting like I did a couple months ago, if anyone was there for that. We're going to basically just chill, maybe reminisce on some memories from the semester. And then after that, I'm going home on Sunday, and I will be back in the basement. I'll be with Colleen. It'll be a lot of fun. On Monday and Wednesday next week, Colleen and I are going to be doing puzzle streams, so watch out for that. Yeah, man, I've got you. Yeah, Monday and Wednesday next week. IRL puzzles. It's going to be my first time ever doing an IRL puzzle in my whole life after doing freaking jigsawpuzzles.io all summer. So get ready for that. And we'll be doing some other stuff as well over the next few weeks while I'm at home. So, yeah, thanks everyone for coming on this ride. I appreciate you all, and I will see you tomorrow night out on the couch, for those who will be there. And for those who won't be there, I'll see you when I see you. Good night, everyone. I'll see you later. Bye.